every week, and we'll even do that during the bye week next week to get an update on Luther College football. The captain's heading to the center of the field. Sam Pullis, also Jacob Bernholtz, as well as Barrett Morissette for Grinnell, and it's Cody Berger, Tyler Moon, Eric Elton, and Dan Wheelock for Luther as they meet in the Grinnell College logo in the center of the field. Kind of a neat setting here. You got the athletic complex on the other side, got a press box on this side. I know that athletic complex they've spent a lot of money on. They hosted the indoor Division III foot nationals in track a couple years ago down here, and just kind of a really neat campus down here.
Yeah, it's a cool little football field. It kind of reminds me of Northwestern, obviously not with the huge grandstands, but you got hills behind the end zones, and you're kind of tucked in a little valley here. You may not see the wind that's going to affect you on the field, but you're going to get some wind from above, and it's a nice setting. It's a change of scenery, but it's definitely a good one, and should be a fun day here today for football.
Grinnell has won the toss and will receive, and they'll defend the goal to our left. Looking at the flag on top of the pole at the end of the stadium, it does not appear wind will be a factor today. And looking at some of the keys to today's game, I think it's a case when you're in non-conference game number 3, you're probably looking more about what you need to do as compared to the specific opponent. We mentioned defensively, Coach Padilla, I talked to him before the game. He says really is kind of bothered by the fact that they haven't forced a turnover through these first couple of weeks. And last week he said after reviewing the film they missed 18 tackles. Those things got to improve.
Yeah, and turnovers will come. If you be aggressive and you're playing smart, they will come. You played against two pretty good football teams early in the season. UWL did a great job of holding on to the football, and St. Olaf, it just never really happened for Luther. And I'm assuming if it doesn't happen today, we know they'll get some turnovers, but the tackles is what you're more worried about. Missing 18 tackles, that just can't happen. That's going to get you out of football games. That's going to be big plays. We saw it on the first play of the game last year. It was a big play due to a missed tackle. So we'll see if they can kind of get that taken care of today and be more sure on the tackles.
And the intensity just for a full 60 minutes, not turning it off turning it on when you want to. That's probably the other thing you want to look at in today's game. Corey Worth is averaging 60 yards a kickoff. He's put 3 in the end zone this year. He has his football teed up on the right or far side hash mark. Jacob Bernholtz is the primary deep back for Grinnell. He is averaging 18.7 yards return. His long has been 29 this year. This is College Radio AM 1240 KWLC Decorah and KWLC.Luther.edu. Darren Swinson and Hunter Urigan from Grinnell for the final non-conference game of the year for the Luther College Norse. And Polani, our guy, back in the studio, getting us on the air and keeping us on the air as well. Good contingent of Norse Nation across the way, filling the visiting stands as the back judge will give the ball to Corey Worth, and referee Ronnie Blockinger will give the okay to Corey Worth, and away we go for football here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Grinnell. Just a Chamber of Commerce postcard day weather-wise. Here is the approach by Worth and the kick. This is a deep kick. It'll go down to Bernholtz, who makes the catch at the 1. He bobbles it and goes back into the end zone and goes down to one knee, and it will be downed at the 1-yard line. I do believe he fumbled it at the 1, and he went back into the end zone and took a knee. So I think Grinnell is going to have the ball at the 1-yard line.
I thought that should be a safety, Darren.
The ball on the 1-yard line. Okay, so far, no. A knee, therefore the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
And by rule, they interpreted it correctly. They caught it at the 1 and then took the knee. You get to go out to the place where the inertia of the football started. So it will be 1st and 10 at the 1-yard line as Grinnell moves left to right. Sam Poulos is the quarterback, senior from Glen Ellen, Illinois. He'll send 2 receivers out, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Bernholtz will stand to the back of Poulos, who starts in a pistol set, and the Norse put 8 in the box. Poulos takes the snap, has time, throws the left side, incomplete, going for Carson Dunn near the 10. Ricky Humes, who had a good game last week, week was on coverage, second down.
Yeah, and first thing I noticed about Polis is he's a pretty short guy back there in the pocket, and they've got 6'6", 5'10", 6'1", and 6'4" up front, so it's going to be tough for him to see over those offensive linemen. Obviously, he's used to it by now, but it's going to take some getting used to. For Luther, it might be hard to see where the ball comes out.
New starter for the North, Bryce Pierce, is at free safety for Gabe Samich today. Polis is the quarterback. Behind him in the backfield is Carson Dunn. 2 receivers off to the left, 3 receivers off to the left, and a single receiver to the near side right. Polis takes the snap, gives to Dunn running the left side, looks to turn upfield. He gets across the goal line and gets knocked out of bounds in the vicinity of the 5. Josh Olerud knocks him out at the 6. It is a gain of 5, 3rd and 5 upcoming, 15 seconds in, no score.
Yeah, 3rd and 5, a good situation here for the Luther defense. Can kind of be aggressive. Grinnell in their own territory, not really probably wanting to take a chance early in the football game, and Luther's got him pinned up against their goal line, and we'll see if the defense can get after it on this play.
Grinnell last week was 9 of 16 on 3rd downs. They're 3rd and 5 from the 6-yard line. 2 backs and 3 receivers. Taking the snap is Polis. He's under pressure. He's hit, and he's sacked. Back at the 4-yard line. Sam Scheidt and Dan Wheelock going to share the sack. It's 4th down and a 3-and-out from the defense.
And when your defensive line is that aggressive, you don't need anybody else to be aggressive. You need everybody else to just stick their assignments. Make sure you kind of keep your guy in front of you for a couple of seconds. Defensive line gets good penetration, and down goes Polis.
Ram Fisher is the punter. He's averaging 39.5 a punt. Matt Madrano is the long snapper. Cody Bergier back in single safety for the Norse. He will stand on the far right side hash at the 50-yard line. The Norse will put 10 men up on the line of scrimmage.
Just about 40 yards you kick.
The lines are down. It's a high snap, and it's fielded by Graham, but he just walks out of the end zone, and it is going to be a safety. Fisher received the high snap, and he caught it off balance and kind of fell backwards and just went out of the end zone. So it's a safety for the Norse and a 2-0 lead, a minute 23 into the ball game.
Hey, and you don't get a turnover on the first possession, but you get something pretty much close to it, and you get some points as the defense. It's going to psych them up. It's going to keep them energetic and keep them rallied up over there on the north side of the field.
So a safety, and Luther up by a 2-0 margin. 13:37 to play here in the first half. So, I mean, special teams miscue, catching the ball at the 1 and then going down at that point for Grinnell. And that really ends up costing them 2 points in the long run.
Yeah, very costly there. If you're not gonna take it out, might as well let it bounce through the end zone and kind of take it as a touchback. You're going to start at the 25, very good field position, and in that position you put yourself at the 1.
But if Corey Worth doesn't put the ball that deep, it doesn't happen either.
Correct, and we heard Coach Hafner talking about how important Corey Worth's leg is on the kickoffs and field position. We just saw it on the first play of the game, or first possession of the game, and Luther leads 2-0 early here.
And we saw how he can tackle last week, so we better be complimentary towards him.
Absolutely,
too.
A pretty impressive tackle from a kicker.
Back deep to field the kick, Dylan Peterson and Cody Berger, as Fisher will elect the punt option from the 20-yard line. 13:37 to play here in the first quarter, a 2-0 lead for Luther as Fisher will punt. And it'll come down to Berger, center of the field at the 25, to the near side hash, 30, 35, 40. Berger to the 45 and covered up at the 47-yard line. Tackled on the play by Kent Huber. So the Norse will have great field position, 1st and 10 from the 47. Right to left they will go in the first quarter. They lead it 2-0.
Yeah, and this is great starting field position for Luther's first drive, and we'll see what the triple option can do today. And they were very successful last week against St. Olaf, and it'll be fun to watch them today.
Brady Letney is going to play the first quarter. Damon Stroop will play the second quarter, and then they'll go from there. Cooper Nelson, the slot back left. Jeremy Redmond, the slot back right. Split right, Cochran. Split left is Joyner. And Christian Moore, the Iowa Conference Offensive Player of the Week, will be the fullback. Redmond starts in motion as Letney takes the snap. Rolls to his right. Dump right, caught by Moore at the 48-yard line in Grinnell territory. He's brought down at the 47 37-yard line. The tackle will go to Joey Galaski. It is a gain of approximately 6 yards.
That might be the first time all season I've seen Christian Moore go down with one person wrapped around him. So credit to Galaski there with that tackle. And a nice little wrinkle from the offense on the first play action, and Letney kind of lobs it out to Christian Moore for good positive yards.
2nd and 4 from the 47 Grinnell territory right hash. Redmond and Nelson the slot backs. Moore's the fullback. Redmond starts in motion. Give to Moore, left side, first down and Moore. He runs inside the 40 and dives ahead to the 37-yard line. Brought down on the near left hash by Ryan Slager. It's a gain of 10 yards.
Yep, and that's what we're more used to seeing, is handing it to Christian, letting him do a little bit of dirty work, get hit a couple of times, and get a big first down. And positive yards again on the second play.
Moore has had over 100 yards in 3 straight games. He had 136 and 2 touchdowns against Grinnell last year. First down and 10, 37-yard line. Bleckel to the right, Cochran to the left. Slot back left, Nelson. Slot back right is Redmond. Moore is the fullback. Letney takes option right side, goes to Nelson, turns upfield, 35, 30, far sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5, and he's out of bounds. They're going to rule him out at the 6-yard line. Cooper Nelson tiptoeing down the sideline, couldn't quite stay in bounds, but he gets 31 to a first and goal for Luther.
Yeah, and if you can get those blocks set on the outside for Cooper Nelson, and you give him any type of room, he is going to turn those Jets on and show what she did right there, and really gets a good, big positive gain there for Luther.
3 minutes into the game, 2-0 Luther. It's first and goal for the Norse from the 6. Football on the far right hash. Cochran right, Redmond and Nelson the slot backs, and the fullback is Christian Moore. Here's the give to Moore, right side, ease into the end zone for the touchdown. Christian Moore with touchdown run number 5 on the season. Norse up 8-0 with 11:46 to play, quarter number 1.
Yep, and that's how it's drawn up by the coaching staff. You know, you get a couple of big gains with the option play, and then when you're in the red zone, you give it to your horse, and Christian Moore is pretty much automatic from that type of range.
Corey Worth, who's 5 for 6 on the extra points, will attempt the extra point. Trevor Joyner is your snapper, and Dylan Smallwood will be your holder.
Running the tank, rolling here.
Snap, spot, kick, up, and good. 53 yards, 4 plays, 1:51 off the clock. Luther up by a 9-0 margin. The defense gives you a safety on the first series, and the offense gets good field position and takes advantage of it on series number 1.
Yeah, and taking advantage of that field position is crucial. Although we've seen Luther do these 95, 96-yard drives, they're obviously a little bit harder. You got to sustain it for a little bit longer, and you're getting a little bit more tired too. But getting the ball at your own 45 is a nice way to start off your first drive, and they do a good job punching one in the end zone today.
Corey Worth will kick off from right to left to restart the game, and the primary deep back is Jacob Bernholtz, who caught a ball at the 1, then took it into the end zone trying to get a touchback. The officials interpreted that the possession should go to Grinnell at the 1-yard line, and 3 plays later it was a safety on a bad snap on a punt. So Worth will tee up his football on the far or right side hash mark, as Worth has put 3 balls into the end zone this year and is averaging 60 yards per kickoff. The sophomore kicker from Maquoketa. Here is the approach and the kick. Is this one not as good of a kick? It bounces at the 25 and it rolls down. That is picked up by Hoover at the 12-yard line. He runs up the middle across the 20 and gets knocked back from the 23-yard line. So first down and 10 from that point. Eddie Joseph in on the stop. Ryan Steffel was also there. Also there, Sean Guerra for Luther. So first down at 10, 23-yard line. Left to right goes Grinnell. They trail it 9-0. Defensively for the Norse, it'll be Pulliam and Berger at the corners. Steffel, Pierce, and also Humes at the safeties. Up front right now, it'll be Ben Trzynski, as well as Mitch Van Epps, also Dan Wheelock and Sean Guerra. The linebackers will be Eric Elton and Josh Olerud, the tandem out of Spring Grove. Play clock will get reset. First down and 10 at the 23-yard line. Football will be in the center of the field. Sam Polis will stand in the pistol set with Carson Dunn behind him. 3 receivers to the left, one receiver to the near side right. In motion left to right comes Bernholtz. Bernholtz gets the handoff on a wingback sweep, looks to turn upfield on the right side, gets hit at the 20-yard line on the near side numbers and gets knocked back. Sean Guerra was first to the football. Ben Trzynski helped out amongst others. It's a loss of 3.
Yeah, we saw St. Olaf try to run a couple of those sweep plays, and UWL as well in the first game. And, Luther had some trouble with him, but that's what you like to see. You like to see Mitch Van Epps kind of swing it out to the outside. Force him towards the sideline and let your guys come up and help make gang tackles. Obviously not missing a tackle on that one, and with like 6 or 7 Luther shirts coming up making the tackle.
2nd and 13 from the 20 right hash. 3 receivers left, single receiver right. Shotgun for Pullis. To his right is Dunn. In motion left to right is Bernholtz. The give is to Pullis once again, but illegal procedure on Grinnell will kill the play. We are 4:08 into the game. It's 9-0 Luther.
Ball start. Number 13.
And it was Emmy Sandoval who was guilty of the penalty. Illegal procedure against Grinnell, so it's 2nd down and 18. Norse have come to play, and Grinnell being forced into a couple of early mistakes as well. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left, right hash, 2nd and 18 from the 15. Pullis with Dunn behind him in the pistol. Now they look to the sideline for a possible audible. Norse have 4 men on the line of scrimmage. Taking the snap is Pullis. The handoff goes to Dunn. He slips a defender near the line of scrimmage, and he runs up the right hash mark and gets brought down at the 20-yard line. Eric Elton, the primary defender. It's a gain of 5, but 3rd and long for Grinnell, trailing 9-0, 4.5 minutes into the game. Grinnell missed on their first 3rd down attempt this game, and they were 9 for 16 last week. 3rd downs have been good for this Luther defense this year. 9 of 28 opponents have converted on 3rd downs thus far. 3rd and 13 from the 20-yard line. Pullis in the pistol, 3 receivers left, single receiver off to the right is Henry Cummings. Pullis will take the snap, drops back to throw, stands in the pocket, rolls to his left, now rolls to his right. He'll throw the right side through, too tall for Cummings, incomplete. He was covered well in the Luther zone by Humes and Berger, and it is 4th down.
Yeah, and that's what they did right there. They just kind of dropped back into the zone, protect the sticks, keep an eye on the guys that you're supposed to keep an eye on, and another good 3rd down stop there from the Norse, and they'll get the ball back up 9-0.
9 of 30 opponents are on 3rd down conversions.
They were pretty good at that last year, if I can remember correctly, holding teams on 3rd down too. So it's definitely an improvement, but you gotta love seeing that. That's gonna get your defense off the field pretty often.
First punt by Graham Fisher was a high snap that led to a safety. This is a high snap that Fisher drops again and covers it up at the 5-yard line. Norse on the doorstep due to another special teams mistake by Grinnell.
Yeah, and if you keep making mistakes on special teams, those are the ones that are really going to kill you, because they're the ones that you don't expect to happen. You expect mistakes to happen on defense and offense, but special teams is kind of that go-to thing. And here you already have 2 blunders, and now Luther, like you said, on the doorstep or on the doorstep, and it's hard to stop him here.
1st and goal at the 6, left near side hash mark as the Norse move to the end zone to our left. Rio will be the tight end left side of the line. Wing back left or slot back left is Peterson. Slot back right is Houlihan. Andrew Whalen is the fullback, and split to the right side is Cochran. Letney takes the snap, keeps it right side. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. Brady Letney with rushing touchdown number 4 on the season. 5.5 minutes in, it's 15-0 Luther.
Yeah, and that's a great sign. Letney making a good decision there. He had the option to pitch, but he saw the lane, very aggressive, goes right through it and gets in the end zone for 6 more for Luther.
6 yards, 1 play, 7 seconds off the clock as the Norse capitalize off of another special teams miscue by Grinnell. Corey Worth will be on for the PAT. He's 6 for 7 in said category this year. Trevor Joyner is the snapper. Dylan Smallwood is the holder. Snap, spot, kick, up and good. It is 16-0 Luther. 9:30 to play here in quarter number 1. So far, so good for the Norse, Hunter.
Yeah, got to be thrilled with what's going on. Now, you necessarily haven't forced the mistakes that have happened. They've been kind of mental miscues and mental errors, but you're taking advantage of them, and that's what you like to see. When teams do make mistakes, you got to make them pay for them, and Luther has done a good job of that, and that's what gets get yourself up 16-0 early on in the ballgame.
Coming up this week on Luther Sports Broadcasting, the Luther men's and women's soccer teams will host Wisconsin-Platteville on Wednesday night. Women's game at 5 and the men's game at 7:30, and you can watch that online at sports.luther.edu. Last year on third down conversions, Luther gave up 41%, which was 51 of 124 for the season. Right now, it is 9 for 30, and that's 30% doing the quick math in my head. So that's the ability to get off the field defensively. That just cannot be understated.
Yeah, it keeps you fresh. It keeps you excited, and it keeps your guys engaged. You're making plays, obviously, if you're keeping teams off the field after third downs, and got to be thrilled with how the season started in that facet so far.
Here's the approach and the kick by Corey Worth. Worth's kick is angling towards the side. It bounces at the 7 on the hash mark. Bernholtz picks it up at the 5-yard line, runs up the hash mark, and gets dumped. Dumped back at the 15-yard line. Down on special teams, Jeremy Greer, a freshman from Orange, California, making the special teams play that time. First down at 10, 15-yard line. Left to right goes Grinnell, trailing 16-0 to the Norse.
First and 10 at their own 16-yard line.
Up front now, it's going to be Scheit, Johnson, Ryan Harrod, and Guerra. Eddie Joseph is in at a linebacker right now with Elton, Humes, Pierce, Pulliam, as well as Berger and Steffel will be in the secondary. So the Norse, as usual, rotating a lot of guys in on the defensive side of the ball. First and 10 from the 15-yard line, left hash. Polis in the shotgun, Dunn to his left. Two receivers either side, football on the far left hash. Taking the snap, Polis quarterback draw, looks for an opening. He looks to dance upfield, gets outside the hash mark, and gets dragged down at the 18-yard line. Brought down on the play by Ryan Harrod. It's a gain of 3 yards.
Yeah, and that's a tough play for the defense because the quarterback is immediately as he drops back, gets on that back foot and then takes off. So you're probably in your drop as a defensive back, and you got to stop right away, come up and make a tackle. But when the defensive line and linebackers are already there, it makes it really easy for the defense.
Second and 7 from the 18-yard line. Three receivers right, single receiver left. Pulis in the pistol, and Dunn standing behind him. With 8:47 to play here in the second quarter, 16-0 Luther. Football left or far side hash mark. Pulis takes the snap, gives to Dunn on a counter play left side, runs into Joe Johnson, gets knocked back from the far left hash mark at the 15. It's going to be a loss of 2.
Gotta love the activity up front right now. They're just getting tons of penetration and getting right up on those blocks and not letting the guys for Grinnell push them around. And that's what Coach Hafner said he really saw out of that offensive line against Beloit last week. And first couple of plays, haven't seen it much here. Luther's defensive line doing a nice job of staying packed and making tackles.
Third down and 10 plus from the 15-yard line. Grinnell 0 of 2 on third down conversions. Two receivers right. Bernholtz will be on a wing left side. Split to the left side is Greg Ruzic. Pulis in the shotgun, Dunn to his left. Pulis, long count, takes the snap, drops back in the pocket, hit as he throws the left side, incomplete. He was going to Ruzic, covered by Pulliam up the far side. It's fourth down.
And so Grinnell will have to pick it away.
Was intended for.
They overthrown that time by Paulus. There was some contact.
Fourth and 10 from the 15-yard line, and North's defense, I think, got the message from Coach Padilla and Coach Hafner this week.
Yeah, I'm sure they weren't as nice about it to them as they were to us, being a little bit more gentle, putting it that way. And I'm sure they're getting in the heads of the players and trying to challenge them a little bit and ask them to be a little bit more aggressive and physical, and we've seen it so far today.
Two bad snaps on punts this time. This time Fisher will field the punt and get the kick away. It will angle to the far sideline. It bounces at the 48-yard line, and it will roll out of bounds in Luther territory at the 39-yard line. So with the punt roll, that's a pretty nice punt, 46 yards and no return. Fisher was a guy that came in averaging 40 yards a punt, so obviously you can put the ball in the air. 7:39 to play here in quarter number 1. 16-0 Luther. This will be the first snap inside Luther territory in the ball game. Letney will be the quarterback. Moore will be the fullback. Two slot backs and two receivers. Justin Montgomery to the left side and Cochran off to the right. Here is Redmond, and the slot back in motion. Letney rolling out to his left side, throwing downfield. Catch made by Cooper Nelson inside the 40, brought down at the 32-yard line in front of the Grinnell bench in Grinnell territory. Ben Lim, the man that brought him down. It is a gain on the play of 29 yards.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of other running backs and receivers and even a couple of the tight ends being mixed in the passing game. Haven't seen Cooper mixed in the passing game. I don't even remember seeing him mixed in last year. So, getting his speed out there and getting him to the outside gives you a nice playmaking opportunity, and you see it there with a big pass play on first down.
First and 10, 33-yard line, football on the left near hash mark. Bleckel right, Cochran left. Nelson slot back left, Redmond slot back right. Moore's the fullback. Option right side goes to Nelson. A block from Redmond to the 30, far sideline to the 20, 15, 10, 5, lunging to the goal line. He's knocked out of bounds. They're going to mark him at the 5. Kent Hoover chased him to the sideline. Scrimmage will actually be the 3-yard line. Nelson with a gain of 30 yards.
And you just can't emphasize the blocks on the outside enough. That time it's Bleckel and Redmond, and they're just keeping their guys on the blocks for 4 or 5, 6 seconds, and it gives Cooper Nelson a wide open space to run and put the Jets on. And he's proven that if you give it to him with open space, he can really make something happen.
6:52 to play here in quarter number 1. 16-0 Luther. First and goal at the 3. Moore is the fullback. Redmond and Nelson the slot backs. Tight end left is Rhea. Tight end right is Joyner. Give to Moore right side. Walks in. Touchdown. Christian Moore, his second rushing touchdown of the day. And 8 minutes and 23 seconds into this one, North's already up 22-0.
Yeah, and it's just been a close to perfect performance so far. They've held them on all third downs, and they've been really, really efficient on offense. Yeah, probably have only ran 10 to 15 plays, and you already got 22 points on the board.
61 yards in 3 plays, taking 1:02 off the clock. Joyner snaps it to Smallwood for worse. PAT, it is up and good. So, 23-0 Luther with 6:37 to play here in quarter number 1. 3 touchdowns and 1 safety thus far. Christian Moore 2 touchdown runs, and Blake Letney with 1 touchdown run and a safety on the first play from the first series from scrimmage for Grinnell. So Luther will kick off once again from right to left. Defensively, it's been 3 3-and-outs, and a couple of special teams miscues have helped out the cause by Grinnell, helping Luther's cause. So Corey Worth will restart the ball game, kicking off from right to left. And the primary deep back this time for Grinnell will be Emmy Sandoval.
Offensive explosion. X-Ray Connecticut in Mizzou.
Illinois Wesleyan and Simpson are scoreless in Iowa Conference play. Central leading Marantha Baptist 10-0 first quarter. And we'll keep you up to date on the Iowa Conference board as well. Here is the approach and the kick by Worth. Up to the far side, and it's taken at the 9-yard line by Sandoval up the hash mark 15. He runs to the 20, gets to the 25, and Ryan Steffel brings him down between the numbers and the hash mark on the near right side at the 29-yard line. So a first and 10 for Grinnell, and they'll have their best field position start of the day as they move left to right, trailing 23-0. Christian Moore 2 touchdown runs, and Brady Letney with a touchdown run. Norris also with a special team safety thus far.
And now this is where you get to that point where Coach Hafner was talking about intensity for 60 minutes of a football game. You're up 23-0, and there's 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter. This game is far from over. We've seen crazy things happen in football, so you got to keep playing 100%. Got to keep going out there like you're down in this game. Can't give up.
Pullis in the pistol with Dunn behind him. Football on the right near side. Hash mark. 3 receivers left. Singles receiver right. Bernhold starts in motion. Pullis takes the snap. Under pressure. Hit as he throws the right side. Incomplete. He was hit by Scheid as he threw the ball. Berger had the coverage of the intended target, Henry Cummings, at second down.
Yeah, and Poulos has been down on almost every pass play that he's dropped back on, and then you got to love the aggressiveness of the front four. They're getting off their blocks, and they're getting in the backfield quickly, and that forces Poulos to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker than he may like. It's hard to get timing with a receiver if you're not comfortable with when you're getting rid of the ball.
Second and 10 from the 29-yard line. 2 receivers left, single receiver right. Poulos in the shotgun, backs on either side of his hip, four-man front for the Norse. Here is Poulos, option right side, looking to turn up field as he turns between the numbers and the hash mark and gets dragged down by Dan Wheelock at the 31-yard line. A gain of 2 yards as Grinnell tried to give the Norse a little of their own medicine that time, Hunter.
Yeah, and I think the defense for Luther has seen that play a couple of times in practice and on the scout team, so they're probably pretty used to playing against that option, and they've gotten a couple of knowledge or a couple of tidbits on how to stop that defense.
We're inside of 6 minutes to play here in the first quarter. A 23-0 lead for Luther. 3rd and 8 from the 31. 4 receivers set, 2 to either side. Pistol set with Poulos and Dunn. Poulos will take the snap. Swings it out left side. Catch made by Dunn at the hash mark at the 25. Moves ahead to the 34-yard line before he is brought down by Mitch Van Epps as well as Ryan Steffel, that is. It's a gain of 3 yards. They needed 8, so 4 3-and-outs from the defense thus far.
Yeah, and they're just swarming to the ball. It may be a couple of completed passes or a little bit of a jet sweep, but Luther is just moving at 100 miles an hour right now, getting to the ball and stopping Grinnell again on a 3rd and medium that time and forcing them to punt.
4th and 5 from the 34-yard line. On to punt is Graham Fisher. His first punt of the day was 46 yards. He lets this one go. It's a little bit shorter. It bounces at the 31 and gets covered up on the far side, left side hash mark at the 32-yard line. Rusich, the man that covered it up at that point. A 34-yard punt, no return. Norse will get it back. 4:58 to play quarter number 1. It's been all Luther to this point. They lead it by a 23-0 margin. Filani is our guy in the studio. Hunter is the guy to my right. I'm Darren. Glad you're with us, and hopefully you're having fun this afternoon. As Nathan Bleckel says, it's always fun listening to Luther football. Andrew Pruitt is the fullback, 2 slot backs and a fullback, and split to the left side is Cochran. Letney will take the snap. Pitch goes to Houlihan left side. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Houlihan brought down at the 36-yard line. Tackle credit to Kent Hoover, pending penalty. So a 3-yard gain for Houlihan, and we'll tell you all about the official.
Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty for the previous play. First down.
Sam Schultz, the guilty party on the hold. So that's really the first mistake we've seen out of Luther today.
I haven't seen many penalties from the offensive line in general this year, and that's a great sign. Those are the type of penalties that can really kill a drive, because when you get a big play and you see that flag go up, you normally know it's holding. So gotta like how disciplined they are up front, and that's going to come with some veteran leadership that they have with all those 5 guys up front.
4:54 and counting here in the first quarter. 23-0 Luther. 1st and 20 from the 22-yard line. Football on the right or far side hash. Joyner to the right, Cochran to the left. Peterson slot back left, Houlihan slot back right. Pruitt is the fullback. Letney under his center, Sam Schultz. He'll take the snap. He'll roll to his left. The left-hander looking downfield. Now he looks to turn upfield and gets hit, knocked out of bounds near the 20-yard line. He was knocked to the sideline by Jeff Keel, a freshman linebacker. It is a loss of a 2-yard margin. 2nd down, 22 upcoming.
Yeah, and Grinnell does a nice job that time staying disciplined. They're not fooled by the play action, which can be really hard, as we've seen with this option offense. It can be really tricky when they do go to the play action, but nice job that time, and they pursued Letney pretty well and put a pretty good lick on him that time. But as you said before on the car right up here, Letney tough as nails.
2nd and 22 from the 20-yard line. Receivers left and right to 2 slot backs and Pruitt the fullback. Here is Letney making the pitch to Peterson, looking to turn upfield. Does so. 25-30. Far side, numbers 40. He's to the 50. Back to the center of the field. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. The first career touchdown for Dylan Peterson, an 80-yard score. Luther up by a 29-0 margin with 3:55 to play quarter number 1.
And I don't know if you saw it, but I saw Tyler Moon running about as fast as he can right at the Luther 45-yard line and put the last block on the last Grinnell defender to spring Houlihan free for a touchdown. And big plays, it happens with the Luther offense, and that's a huge one, probably the biggest one we've seen up to this date so far, and gotta love what's coming out of the offense right now.
68 yards, 3 plays, 1:03 off the clock. Worth PAT up and good. Corey 4 for 4 in said category there. 30-0 Luther. 3:55 to play first quarter. So Moore with 2 scores. Letney with the score. And the first career score for Dylan Peterson. Peterson, the freshman running back for the Norse. And Luther has themselves a 30-0 lead. So we'll get the stats here. Luther with 202 yards of total offense and 168 on the ground thus far. Of course, last year the Norse had 579 yards on the ground against Grinnell. This year they have 36 yards on 2 of 2 passing. That's 36 more and 2 more passes than they threw against Grinnell last year.
Mm-hmm.
Worth will kick off from right to left. His right leg perhaps may show some fatigue here momentarily. He's been a busy guy thus far. The primary deep back is Sandoval for Grinnell. Here is the approach by Worth and the kick. It comes down to Sandoval, a yard deep on the far side hash. He runs to the 10, runs to the right hash at the 15. Hit by Sean Guerra, escapes that tackle and gets finished off on the near side by Ryan Steffel. They'll mark him at the 23. Left to right goes Grinnell from there. 3:47 to play, quarter number 1. 30-0 Luther.
23-yard line.
Defensively for the Norse this trip, it'll be Pierce, Steffel, and Humes at the safeties. Pulliam and Berger at the corners. Up front, it'll be Guerra, Wheelock, Herod, and Johnson. And at the linebacker, it will be Olerud and Elton. First down and 10 from the 23-yard line, right near side hash mark is where the football lies. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Poulos in the shotgun, done to his left. Poulos takes the snap. He's under pressure. He's hit. He's sacked. Back at the 16-yard line. Herod, Wheelock, Johnson, and Guerra were all there. All 4 defensive linemen met at the quarterback. It's a loss of 7.
Yeah, and if you're the defensive coaches, you love that. You love that the guys are still active. They're still going hard, and you know they're not putting their heads down thinking that, oh, when's this game going to be over? It's you got to stay after it. Keep your foot down on the gas pedal and play hard.
Second and 16, call it, from the 16-yard line. 2 receivers left, and Bernholtz on a wing left side. Split to the near right side is Cummings. Sam Poulos, who threw for 101 yards and a touchdown last year against Luther, will take the snap. Quick screen left side, catch is made at the 15. Luke Pulliam brings down the receiver right there. The reception, I believe, was made by Greg Rusich up the far side. Pulliam brings him down for actually a loss of a yard. It's third down. 3rd and 17 from the 15-yard line. Luke Pulliam had his first career interception against Grinnell last year, the sophomore out of Tracy, California. And what we saw last week against St. Olaf, they just weren't throwing to his side at all.
Yeah, and the one time they did throw to his side, he had an opportunity for a pick 6. I think he just got a little too excited on that one.
3rd and 17 from the 15-yard line. He'd love to have that one back.
Oh, yeah.
3rd and 17 from the 15-yard line. Poulos will take the snap. He'll retreat in the pocket. He's under pressure. He's hit by Wheelock. He got away from him, but he doesn't get away from Dante Joseph, who brings him down at the 1-yard line. A loss of 14 yards. Joseph, the freshman linebacker from Utah, with his first career sack.
Yeah, and everybody being active today, and you got to love the way that they're getting after it and being aggressive, and it's another 3 and out, and Grinnell back up against their end zone here again, and an opportunity for Luther to maybe get some pressure on the punt here.
Cody Berger will stand at the Grinnell 40-yard line as Fisher will punt. His 2 punts that have actually gotten off today have been an average of 40 yards. He has dropped 2 snaps. This going a high snap, but Fisher gets it away. It's a nice kick coming down to Berger, far side hash at the 41. He's to the 35 to the 30 and escapes out of bounds. Chased to the sideline by Hoover at the 27-yard line. So a punt of 40 and a return of 14 by Cody Berger. And it'll be first down and 10 from the 27-yard line with 1:21 to play here in quarter number 1. It's 30-0 Luther. Moore, 2 touchdown runs. Peterson, an 80-yard touchdown run. Letney, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Norse also have a special team safety. Damon Stroop is now in at quarterback, the sophomore from Tracy, California. Cochran split to the left side. Off to the right side will be A.J. Rhea. Redmond and Nelson will be the slot backs, and Moore will be the fullback. Here is Stroop. Keeping it off the left side, runs to the 25, to the 20, up the right side, hash mark. Cutting to his right inside the 10, brought down at the 9-yard line. Damon Stroop, first carry for him, goes for 18 and a first and goal.
And that's the thing I've been really impressed with the quarterbacks is it's a tough offense to be aggressive in as the quarterback because you have so many options to get rid of it. But, that's how we saw J.J. Cirrus got a lot of positive short yardage gains there. Obviously a big gain there for Damon, but, being able to take those opportunities to get 4 or 5 yards, that's going to be crucial for the quarterbacks here. And, good start to this one so far.
First and goal at the 9-yard line, right far side, hash mark is where the football lies. Bleckel right, Cochran left, Redmond and Nelson the slot backs, Moore the fullback. Here is Stroop, option left side, pitch goes to Redmond, turns the corner at the 10 to the near side of the 5, the end zone touchdown. Jeremy Redmond, his first touchdown of the game and of the season, and it's 36-0 Luther with 43 seconds to play, quarter number 1.
Yeah, and it's just the blocking all around, and Luther not holding anything back, and that's what you're taught to do when you're out on the football field. You can't show mercy for the other team. You gotta keep playing your game because you never know what could happen in the game.
27 yards, 2 plays, 38 seconds off the clock. Corey Worth for the PAT. Joyner is your snapper, and your holder is Dylan Smallwood. Snap, spot, kick. It is up, and it is good. So it's 37-0 Luther. 43 seconds left here in quarter number 1. Illinois Wesleyan has a 7-0 lead on Simpson in Iowa Conference play. That's the only update we have on the Iowa Conference board right now. Most of the teams going to be in action, and the majority of them are also going to be off next week before Iowa Conference play starts 2 weeks from today on Hunter Urigan's birthday. So send your cards, perhaps a cake if you wish, to the press box at Dubuque's Stadium.
It would be much appreciated.
Maybe Chuck, maybe Mama Jurgen, and perhaps Darren will greet him. I will do so. If anybody else does, that'd just be an added bonus.
Yep.
What are you going to be, 20?
I'm only going to be 20.
Wow, you're young.
Yep.
Enjoy life while you have it there, buddy. Worth kicks off from right to left. Coming down to Sandoval, outside the numbers at the 1. Up the far side, numbers to the 10, to the 20. Knocked out of bounds by Eddie Joseph. They'll mark him at the 21-yard line. 38 seconds to play here in the quarter. It is a lead of 37-0 for Luther. Augustana taking on Loris today. Simpson at Illinois Wesleyan. Central at Marantha Baptist, and Coe is at Wisconsin Stevens Point right now. First and 10 from the 21-yard line. 37 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. It's been all Luther. Redmond a touchdown, Peterson a touchdown, Moore 2 touchdown runs, Letney 1 touchdown run, and 1 safety for the Norse. And it's been 5 3-and-outs for Grinnell offensively here in the first quarter. Pullis takes the snap, gives to Dunn. Stretch play left side, looks for an opening, just doesn't have one as he gets smothered outside the numbers at the 19-yard line. Luke Pulliam on secondary run support with Ricky Humes bringing him down.
What's awesome to see is the coaching staff still really pumping up everybody on the sideline, not letting them get in any complacency like we talked about in the pregame. You can't get comfortable when you got a lead. You got to keep on pushing through and try to improve on the things that you're supposed to improve on, because then that's when you start having mental mistakes, and it can all add up. And although it's a 37-point lead, it could be gone in a flash.
So it is 37-0 Luther after 1 quarter of play. We'll get some stats here momentarily, but Well, it's been all Luther thus far here in the first quarter.
At the end of the quarter, the Norse have the lead.
Luther looking to go to 2-1 as they head into Iowa Conference play. 2 weeks from today.
Cardinals 4-1 in the fifth.
And that will be Luther at Dubuque, 12:50 for the pregame, 1 o'clock for the kickoff, and you can hear it right here on AM 1240 KWLC. You can listen to it on the regular radio. You can go to kwlc.luther.edu, and also if you got the TuneIn Radio app on your smartphone or on your mobile device, download that, search KWLC, and you can get our broadcast anywhere in the world. So that's the ways to keep up. We got to thank our guy Filani. He's back at the studio. He gets us on the air. He keeps us on the air. He does the hard work so Hunter and I can have the fun that we do, and you can have the fun listening to Luther College football. Moving from right to left will be Grinnell on a 2nd down and 12 from the 19-yard line to restart the game. So far through quarter number 1, 195 yards rushing for Luther, 229 of total offense. Grinnell, negative 33 yards rushing and negative 31 yards overall. Here's a handoff right side and a trickery for Grinnell coming downfield. Bernholtz could not run down the pass as they tried a little trickery. They gave a handoff to a back, T.R. Jones, who is also a quarterback. He rolled out to his right, he threw downfield, and Bernholtz couldn't come down with the pass. He frankly probably should have caught the ball, but he might have heard some footsteps. It's 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that can kind of get you jump started a little bit, making a couple of interesting plays and keeping yourself in the game and keeping yourself up. So, like to see Grinnell go into that. You gotta try and get something going on offense if you're the Pioneers.
Grinnell 0 of 5 on 3rd down conversions, 3rd and 12 from the 19. They move right to left here in the second quarter, trailing 37-0. Taking the snap is Pullis, dropping back to throw. He's hit by Joseph and brought down. Back at the 14-yard line, Dante Joseph, the freshman linebacker out of Utah, with his 2nd sack.
Haven't seen Dante Joseph play much this year and gets in the game and is really active. Big, tall, long guy. Makes it tough for the quarterback. Can kind of get past deflections as well, and gets after the quarterback there with some speed, and that's his 2nd sack of the game. So love to see that from a guy who doesn't get as much playing time in a game that might be a little bit closer.
4th and 17, back to the 14-yard line. Fisher on to punt once again. He has punted 4 times and averaged 44.2. Snap back in good shape. Fisher moves forward, gets the kick away. Good hang time to this one as Berger will corral it on the far side, numbers at the 45-yard line. So a 41-yard punt, no return. 14:05 to play here in quarter number 1. It's a 37-0 lead for Luther. Individually, Dylan Peterson 80 yards, Cooper Nelson 61 yards, Christian Moore 19 yards, and Damon Stroop 18 yards. Brady Letnery 2 of 2 passing, 34 yards. Cooper Nelson 1 catch for 28 yards. Christian Moore 1 for 6. First down at 10, 45-yard line. Left to right go the Norse here in the second quarter. They've scored on their first 5 possessions. Stroop takes the snap, option right side. Pitch goes to Peterson. He dropped the football, but Houlihan comes back on top of it at the Luther 41 on the right side between the numbers and the hash mark, a loss of 4 yards.
And those are the type of things that can happen when you get up get up big into the football game. As you start to make lazy pitches, or you start to just kind of guess who's over there, and you're not really double checking. And it's a tough position to be in as the offense because you've already been really successful, but you got to keep doing what you've been doing the whole time.
So 2nd and 14, it'll be from the 41. Cochran to the left side, Rhea to the near side right. Houlihan slot back right, Peterson slot back left. Whalen is the fullback and a 5-man front for Grinnell. Stroop takes the snap, option left side. He'll keep it to the 45. He'll run to the 48 and get brought down there after a gain of 7 yards. 3rd down upcoming. This will be the first 3rd down play thus far for Luther.
And that's normally a good recipe for success, is not getting yourself to 3rd down. That means you're getting really good positive yards on 1st and 2nd down, converting those into 1st downs, and that's how you put 37 points on the board in the first quarter.
3rd and 4 from the 48-yard line. 37-0 Luther with 12:50 to play till halftime. We'll actually call it 3rd and 6 in all honesty.
3rd down and 6 for the Norse.
Split to the right side is Cochran. Tight end left is Joiners. Slot backs Houlihan and Peterson. The pitch goes to Peterson, right side, looking for an opening. He's strung out well, and he goes out of bounds on the near right sideline. Chased to the sideline by Joey Galaski. They'll mark him at the 48, so call it no gain, and for the first time today, Luther will be forced to punt.
That's a better job by Grinnell, being a little bit more active on the pursuit, forcing guys to the outside, and obviously it was a pitch to the outside, so,
Cochran averaging 32.7 a punt. Sandoval back in single safety for Grinnell. They have not had a punt return this far this year. They did not have it. One last week against Beloit. Snap back in good shape. Cochran moves forward, gets the kick away. It bounces at the 23-yard line. It rolls inside the 15 and down to cover it up the long snapper Trevor Joyner at the 14-yard line. So a 36-yard punt, no return. 12:21 to play here in quarter number 2. It is a 37-0 lead for
no return.
Luther. So first down and 10
But they got a defensive stop.
at the 14-yard line.
37-0 to score Luther.
Right to left will go Grinnell. Grinnell has a total of negative 36 yards of offense here to this point. Luther with a total of 232 yards of offense here in the first half. Luther 4 of 4 in the red zone thus far, and next time on offense we'll focus on that stat. First and 10, 14-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, single receiver off to the right. Pullis in the shotgun, done to his left, moving left to right. In motion goes Jeff Gable. Pullis keeps it up the middle, running up the hash mark, gets across the 15 to the 20, and Pullis gets a gain of 6 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 4 upcoming.
Yeah, and Coach Hafner talked about the athleticism of Pullis, and we haven't really seen him been able to utilize that yet, but a nice job there on the quarterback, kind of not necessarily a draw, but kind of boots out to his left and doesn't see anything and pulls it down for a big gain.
2nd and 4 from the 20-yard line. Pullis will send 3 receivers to the left and a single receiver off to the right is Henry Cummings. Football on the right or far side hash mark. Dunn will stand to the left of the Pullis in the shotgun formation. Pullis in a quarterback throw, runs the right side, gets the first down and more, and gets brought down by Humes on the far side. Numbers at the 27-yard line. It'll be a first down, and that's the first down of the day for Grinnell.
Yeah, and we didn't really talk much about Ricky Humes before the game, but we got to give him credit for the game he had last week. He was really active and was really a key part of the defense last week, and makes his first tackle here today, open field tackle against a shifty quarterback. Not the easiest thing to do. So, although it's first down for Grinnell. First
down and 10 from the 27-yard line. 3 receivers right, single receiver left. Pullis takes the snap, counter play left side to Bernholtz, and Bernholtz it's dragged down on the left side at the 28-yard line. Eddie Joseph, the man that brought him down, the 5'8", 220-pound solid freshman from Lake Wales, Florida.
Yeah, and he's great on special teams too. We saw him make a mistake on special teams offsides before the kick last week, and he ended up making the tackle on that play too. But he's a great special teams guy, and Coach Hafner obviously likes what he's got in Eddie.
2nd down and 9 from the 28. 3 receivers right, single receiver to the near side left. Pullis will stand in the pistol, and Bernholtz will be directly behind him. Bernholtz now moves to the right of Pullis, who takes the high snap, drops back to throw, has time, throws over the middle, catch made by Sandoval, cutting right to the 40. He's to the 45, outside the numbers at the 50, to the Luther sideline, and he gets dragged down by Quinn Barrett at the 42-yard line in Luther territory. By far the biggest play of the day for Grinnell. It's a 30-yard gain and a first down.
Yeah, and Sandoval's the guy they sent back there to return some kicks after the first couple of miscues there, and he's done a pretty good job being a little shifty and making some guys miss, and that time they get him the ball in open field, they're able to let him move around a little bit and picks up a big gain, and that's how Grinnell's going to have to move the ball in Luther defense.
1st and 10, 42-yard line, right hash. 4-man front for Luther. 2 receivers left, single receiver off to the right. Pullis in the shotgun, and Bernholtz to his right, and Dunn will stand to his left. Football on the right far side hash mark. Here's an option left side. Pitch goes to Bernholtz, slanting left at the 43 and gets dragged down right there on the near side. Numbers by Eric Elton. It's a loss of a yard.
I just don't know if that's the best play for Grinnell. It's something that Luther is so used to seeing in practice that they are ready for that option. Even when they're not expecting it, they know what to do. They know their assignments, and that's tough to beat an option defense who's got to face that every day in practice. But
2nd and 11 from the 43-yard line. 2 receivers to the right, Cummings and Rusich. Single receiver off to the left will be Sandoval. Wing back left side will be Carson Dunn. Sam Pullis will stand in the shotgun formation. Standing to his right will be Jacob Bernholtz. In motion left to right goes Dunn. Taking the snap is Pullis. Quarterback draw left side, gets by Van Epps, runs to the 40 and escapes out of bounds. Chased to the sideline by Ricky Humes at the 41-yard line. A gain of 2, so a 3rd down and 9 upcoming. Better discipline on the quarterback draw that time.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you like to see. Although he does get a couple of yards, it's not much. You're still keeping him at that 3rd and long situation here, which we've seen the Pioneers don't feel all that comfortable in that situation.
They are 0 of 6 on 3rd downs thus far. 3rd and 9 from the 41. 2 receivers to the far side right. Wing back left is Dunn. Split to the near side left is Sandoval. Pullis in the shotgun. Bernholtz stands to his right. Dunn goes in motion left to right. Football on the left near side hash mark. Pullis takes the snap. Drops back to throw. He'll throw the right side catch made by Dunn, but Dunn was disconnected from the football by Ryan Steffel on the far side numbers at the 36. It is 4th down.
And what a hit by Ryan Steffel there. All clean, nothing dirty about it. Just waits till he grabs the ball and lays the hammer down. And that's what you're taught to do as a safety or a corner is once you see that ball in the air, pursuit. If they make the catch, hit them hard. You're normally going to knock that ball out of there.
That was a shoulder pad right to the breadbasket, which knocked the football away. A textbook clean tackle.
Absolutely, Darren.
5 punts for Fisher. He's averaged over 40 yards a punt to this point. Berger back in single safety. Matt Madrano is the long snapper, and Grinnell will take a timeout. 8:47 to play here in quarter number 1. 37-0, or in quarter number 2, 37-0 Luther. They scored on their first 5 possessions. 2 touchdowns from Christian Moore, a Peterson 80-yard touchdown run, a Letney 6-yard touchdown run, and a Redmond 9-yard touchdown run. Also a special teams safety for the Norse as well today.
Reagan Jones, and the back judge is Brad Johnson.
Augustana leading Loris 21-10 second quarter. Illinois Wesleyan leading 7-0 on Simpson second quarter, and Central leading Marantha Baptist by a 10-0 lead. Those are your Iowa Conference scores. In fact, it's all the way up now to 31-0 Central over Marantha Baptist. Co is taking on Wisconsin Stevens Point. That will kick off in 7 minutes, and I believe Wartburg playing a night game tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Low snap this time to Fisher. No pressure. He'll move forward, get the kick away. This one bouncing at the 10-yard line, rolls inside the 5, and will roll into the end zone. So a 41-yard punt, no return. 8:37 to play here in quarter number 2. It is a 37-0 lead for Luther. Damon Stroop and the offense back on the field. Letney had the first 4 possessions. Stroop led him to a score on possession 5. And that's they're still splitting the time at quarterback. The offensive coaches have told me they want to make a decision on a guy by the time conference play gets here in 2 weeks.
Tough decision to make, though, because you got 2 guys who are very good at what they do, and 2 likable kids too.
1st and 10, 20-yard line, football on the right near side hash mark. Redmond and Nelson the slot backs. Moore the fullback. Moore gets the handoff, big hole right side 30. He's to the 35 and gets dragged down at the 39-yard line. Christian Moore on a gain of 19 yards. It'll be a 1st down. Tackle credit will go to Barrett Morissette. 1st down and 10 at the 39-yard line. Moore now with 38 yards on the day. He's the Iowa Conference the Offensive Player of the Week last week. 3 straight 100-yard games for Moore, going back to the Simpson game to end the season last year. 1st down and 10, 39-yard line. Cochran to the right side, everybody else in tight. Redmond and Nelson the slot backs, and Moore the fullback. Football on the right near side hash mark. Give to Christian left side. Big hole across the 45. He's to the 50, speeds 45, 40. He's to the 35, 30. Far side numbers 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Christian Moore on a 61-yard score. It is 43-0 Decorah. Luther leading with 7:46 to play here in quarter number 2.
Look at the big man move. He puts the jets on, and he just flies by everybody on the Grinnell defense. He gets hit a couple of times and breaks out into the open, and he puts the wheels on. And it's like he's like a bowling ball rolling down the alley, and there's no stopping him.
80 yards, 2 plays, 51 seconds off the clock. Joyner will snap it. Smallwood will hold it for the PAT attempt for Corey Worth. Snap, spot, kick. Up and good. So Luther leads it by a 44-0 margin, and we're not even halfway through quarter number 2. Luther with 278 yards on the ground and 312 overall. Christian Moore, 5 rushes, 99 yards, and 3 scores thus far. So he's 1 yard away from surpassing the 100-yard mark for the 4th consecutive game.
I think he's got a pretty good chance at being the Iowa Conference Offensive Player of the Week this year.
Well, we'll burn that bridge when you get there, because individual recognition is nice, but team improvement is all that better.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
So Christian Moore getting the job done once again, but got to give love to the guys up front. James Osley and Colton Wellman at the tackles, Tyler Moon and Jordan Bolkoff at the guards, and Sam Schultz will be at the center position. And you mentioned on a couple of those big runs, you see guys like Tyler Moon, 40 yards downfield,
sprinting.
Still looking to find that guy.
Full speed sprinting. It's a big man sprinting at you, too.
Only 6'1", 275. He's got the larger-than-life personality.
You're right, though. He does.
It comes down to Sandoval, near side, hash at the 2 to the hash mark to the 15, and gets dragged down at the 21-yard line. Down on special teams, Sam Fierce for Luther, and there's a flag down at the 34-yard line on the left side. So it hasn't been a ton of penalties in this game. 7:41 to play, and it's a hold on Grinnell, so that'll back Grinnell up even further in that situation. So 44-0 Luther. Christian Moore, 3 scores. Peterson an 80-yard score. Letney a score. Redmond a score, and a safety as well.
We have holding on the return team number 34. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Grinnell.
And the penalty is on Barrett Morissette. So first down and 10 from the 16-yard line. Grinnell moves right to left. They trail it 44-0 with 7:41 to play here in quarter number 2. By the way, we'll have an interview with Chris Garcia Pratt's men's soccer coach coming up at halftime. Men's soccer team off to a 4-1-1 start this year. They'll travel up to Collegeville to take on St. John's tomorrow, and they'll be back home on Wednesday night before Iowa Conference play starts a week from today. First down and 10, 16-yard line, left hash. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Pullis takes the snap, quarterback draw, left side. He'll get dragged down up the near side hash mark at the 18-yard line. Got dragged down from behind by Eddie Joseph. It's a gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, and calling Eddie Joseph's name again, and it's a defensive collective effort is what it is. The defensive line is staying on those blocks long enough to where offensive linemen aren't able to get up into that second zone and get big holes open for Poulos and the rest of the Pioneer offense.
2nd and 8 from the 18-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Football on the left hash. Poulos in the shotgun, and off to his right is Bernholtz. Up front is Johnson, Scheit, Van Epps, and Guerra for Luther. Taking the snap, Poulos, he's under pressure. He throws the right side. Catch is made by Carson Dunn along the sideline at the 20. He dances up the sideline to the 25-yard line. Shoved to the far Luther sideline by Ryan Steffel, and it will be a first down on a gain of 8 yards. Second first down of the day for Grinnell. Bit of a wounded quail of a pass, but Dunn able to make a nice adjustment. First down and 10, 26-yard line with 6:37 to play here in quarter number 2. 44-0 Luther. 3 receivers left, single receiver off to the right. Bernholtz will stand to the right of Pullis, who stands in the shotgun formation. Football on the far right side hash. Pullis takes the snap, rolls to his left. Rush is on, being chased by Johnson. He'll dump it to the near side, incomplete. Going for Sandoval at the 30, covered like a glove by Luke Pulliam. It's a second down upcoming.
Yeah, and we saw Pulliam really become a good football player as a freshman last year when he kind of got thrown into that cornerback spot, but he's really, really improved, and the defense just swarming all over the place.
This is College Radio AM 1240 KWLC Decorah and KWLC.Luther.edu. Darren Swenson and Hunter Urigan with you today. And Filani is our guy back at the KWLC studios. He got us on the air. He's keeping us on the air. Let's face it, he's just the man. 2nd and 10, quarterback draw. Pullis right side. Dragged down on the far side hash mark at the 29-yard line by Eric Elton. It is a gain of 3. It is 3rd down upcoming. Van Epps out, Trzynski in up front with Wheelock, Johnson, and Scheit. Joseph out of the lineup and Elton into the lineup here on a 3rd down. 3rd down and 7 from the 29-yard line. Grinnell is 0 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. The Norse have only given up 9 of 35 this year on 3rd downs. 3rd and 7 from the 29. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Football on the right hash. Pistol set with Pullis and done. Pullis takes the snap. He has time. He throws the left side. Nearly intercepted by Pulliam as he went towards T.R. Jones on the left side. Numbers at the 35. Pulliam had the coverage. I believe there was a flag down on the far side. So we'll see what the flag is all about.
There's a flag on the play.
Probably be on Grinnell and they'll decline it.
Drop block, number 17 and number 6 of the offense. That penalty is going to be declined.
It's a chop block, a combination of Bernholtz and Dunn on the chop block, but
Until we have 4th and 7.
it'll be 4th and 7 from the 29-yard line.
Score at the 29.
Cody Berger back in single safety for the Norse to field the punt of Graham Fisher. Matt Madrano is the long snapper. Snap back in good shape, and Fisher moves forward, gets the kick away. This comes down to Berger, center of the field at the 40 in Luther territory. He cuts up the hash mark and gets dragged down at the 43-yard line. Ed Hardman, the man that brought him down. So 1st down and 10 from the 43-yard line. 32-yard kick and a 3-yard return. 5:17 to play here in quarter number 2. 44-0 Luther. Luther 278 yards on the ground and 312 yards of total offense thus far. Damon Stroop is on for his 3rd series. 2 of them have been 4 touchdowns. Andrew Pruitt is the fullback this time. Peterson and Houlihan will be the slot backs, and there'll be 2 tight ends. Football on the left or far side hash. Give to Pruitt, running up the middle, running up the hash mark 40. He's to the 30, keeping his balance and brought down from behind. They're going to mark him at the 28-yard line. DJ Coleman, the man that brought him down. Different fullbacks, same result, 29 to the good, and a 1st down for Luther.
Yeah, and it's a couple of missed tackles, and Pruitt doing a nice job bouncing off a couple of tackles, too, to get a big gain, and don't see him get the ball very often. But last week when we saw him get the ball, he was pretty successful.
The senior out of Maple Grove, Minnesota, 1st and 10, 28-yard line. By 18 yards, that was the longest run of his career. Montgomery to the right side, off to the left side is our boy Bleck. Peterson and Houlihan, the slot backs. Pruitt is the fullback. He gets the call once again, plowing ahead up the hash mark off right guard, and he gets knocked back from the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 4 on the play. A defender, Barrett Morissette, led the charge. It's a gain of 3 for Pruitt, and a 2nd down upcoming. 4:25 to play till halftime. 44-0 Luther. 2nd and 7 it'll be from the 25-yard line as Justin Montgomery, the freshman receiver from Carrollton, Texas, will come in with the play. Montgomery to the right side, Cochran to the left. Slot back right is Houlihan. Slot back left is Dylan Peterson. Andrew Pruitt is the fullback. Ducking in under center is Stroop. He'll give to Pruitt. He'll plow off right guard, and Morissette brings him down after a gain of 3 yards. Jacob Bruner is right now in at the left guard position, and Kyle Prudhomme is in at the left tackle position. So the North seeing a few different offensive linemen in there, but Moon and Osley still on the right side, and Schultz is still your center.
Yeah, it's hard to take those guys out of there. They're basically the anchor of your offense. They keep everybody kind of on the same page and make sure everybody's got their head on straight.
3rd and 5 from the 27-yard line. 3:27 to play till halftime. 44-0 Luther. Stroop will duck in under his center, Sam Schultz. 2 tight ends, 2 slot backs, and a fullback. Here's the give to Pruitt, and he lost the ball, but he got it back at the 22-yard line. It is actually Pruitt coming down on top of the football. Morissette had the defensive coverage at the 22-yard line, so field goal unit coming on for Luther for the first time this year, Corey Worth. Well, another chance to work on something here. Angle will be from the right side, 37-yard attempt for Worth. Smallwood will be your holder. Snap, spot, kick, up. And it is no good. He pushed it to the left or near side or far side, and it was short as well.
The way it came off his foot, it kind of looked like someone might have gotten a hand on it, but it was too hard to tell from up here if it did get a touch on it. But as you said, something to work on. Got to get you guys game experience. You never know when you're going to need a 37-yard field goal, and when you're down 3 or have an opportunity to take a lead late at the end of the game, and get some practice in and get it up to game speed.
So Grinnell trailing 44-0 with 2:35 to play in quarter number 2. Will get the football back, moving right to left from their own 21-yard line. Pullis will be in the shotgun, and Bernholtz to his right. 3 receivers right, single receiver left, football on the left hash. Pullis will take the snap. He'll give to Bernholtz running on the left side, and he runs in to Eddie Joseph, who brings him down between the numbers and the hash mark on the left near side at the 20. It's a loss of a yard.
Yeah, and just a total swarm of the defense. Lots of white jerseys going to the ball, and you got to love to see the activity that's going on out there. They're not letting anything on the scoreboard get to their heads. They're out there playing hard, and that was the intensity Coach Hafner talked about in the pregame.
2nd and 11 from the 20-yard line. 3 receivers to the right side. Single receiver off to the left with Sandoval. Pullis in the shotgun, standing to his right, will be done. Football on the left hash mark. North showing blitz. They'll send 4. Pullis hit as he throws the right side. Catch made by Bernholtz. Tries to elude a defender. Cannot on the right numbers at the 21-yard line. Ryan Steffel, the man that brought him down. It's a gain of a yard. 3rd down upcoming with 100 seconds to play here in the first half. 3rd and 10, it'll be from the 21-yard line.
Number 41, Ryan Steffel, and number 28, Eric Elton.
And Grinnell is taking their time getting the play. By the way, Luther now 0 for 3 the last 2 seasons on field goals, in case you were wondering. Look that one up. Pullis takes the snap, hit by Johnson as he throws the left side. Catch made by Sandoval at the 30, knocked down immediately by Quinn Barrett. It's a gain of 9, but they needed 10, and it's 4th down upcoming. And with 56 seconds left, and right now, Grinnell leading their offense on the field, and they can milk the clock down to 22 seconds left, and Luther not in a position where they really need to take a timeout here, and now they'll send the punt unit onto the field, will the Pioneers. Cody Berger will be the man back deep for Luther. And Grinnell will take a timeout with 21.6 seconds to play here in the first half. Chris Garcia-Prance will be our halftime guest, and don't forget, we'll planning on doing a little bit more audio podcasting with interviews with coaches and perhaps student athletes as time goes by, and those will be posted on the social media sites for their respective sports. Chris Garcia Pratt's interview posted on the Luther Men's Soccer Facebook and Twitter pages, and Coach Hafner's interviews also being taken care of on the social media sites for Luther football as well. And you can follow me on Twitter, Darren Swenson, and you can get all the audio that way too. Hopefully I'm a good follow on Twitter.
You're a pretty good follow, I'll admit.
Pretty good? Only pretty good?
You have some improvements.
Okay, that I need to make?
I don't know what they are, but a social media specialist would know.
All right. Calling T.O. Snap back in good shape, and Fisher moves forward, gets the kick away, and Berger calls for the fair catch, but he drops the football at the 39-yard line, and it looks like Grinnell perhaps has the football back with 11.2 seconds remaining, and Grinnell does have the football. So Berger was looking directly up into the sun, couldn't corral it. And recovering the fumble for Grinnell is Matt Madrano, the long snapper. So Grinnell, I believe, has one timeout remaining. They do. First down and 10 will be from the Luther 40-yard line. 44-0 Luther as we approach the halftime break. So the defense back on the field. Luther will have 3 down linemen, and they will play 3 linebackers and 5 in the secondary at this time. Pullis will be in the shotgun formation. He'll send 2 receivers right, a single receiver left. Bernholtz will be on a wing left side. He'll go in motion to the right. Standing to the right of Pullis will be Dunn. Pullis will take the snap. He'll retreat in the pocket. He'll scramble up the middle. He got by Dan Wheelock and finished off by Joe Johnson at the 36. Timeout Grinnell, their final timeout of the half, with 4.7 left here in quarter number 2.
Yeah, now Grinnell will have to take a shot or try a really long field goal here, and it looks like
well, Graham Fisher, their kicker, did make a 49-yarder last week.
Yeah, and I saw him warming up, and he was hitting some from 48 to 49. I even think I saw him go back to 50 at one point, and he's got quite a leg, but I think he might be just a little bit out of range here.
It would be a 53 or 54-yard attempt here, and there's really no wind to speak of to assist or detract an attempt. Just what a gorgeous day here in Grinnell.
Absolutely beautiful.
Really neat setting down here, too.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, time for maybe one more play here.
And the offense is going to be on the field for Grinnell out of the timeout with 4.7 seconds left. Dunn will be on a wing left side. Receivers left and right forming a slot to the right side. Football on the left hash. Pullis in the shotgun. Bernholtz to his right. Pullis takes the snap. Steps up in the pocket. Throws deep down the right side. And the ball will be deflected away. Incomplete. Bryce Pierce knocks it down near the goal line. And it will be halftime. And there was a flag down, and a hold is going to be called on Grinnell, so that will be declined. So here we go. 44-0 Luther at the half. Again, a lot of things to talk positively about in that first half, but let's go back to one of our original points. The defense wanted to take the ball away today. They haven't done that, but 6 straight 3-and-outs. You can't complain too much about that. And that goes back to the other point we wanted to make defensively, and this was from talking to Coach Padilla before the game. He wanted to see this defense tackle better today. They had 18 missed tackles against St. Olaf after watching the film last week. The tackling definitely has improved here in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. All facets of the defense have been very impressive today. And like you said, although they haven't gotten that turnover that they're really looking for, it's 6 straight 3-and-outs kind of plays towards that advantage. It kind of feels like a turnover. You're playing obviously really well, and when a turnover does happen, it's normally a mistake on the offense's part, and the defense is able to capitalize. But with a 3-and-out, the defense is obviously just playing some really hard-nosed football.
So 44-0 here at the halftime break. We'll let Hunter take a little.
Guess you're confident in either one, so I wouldn't say it's not a confident call that you're making, but it's a tough call to make. You put yourself in a tough situation when you got 2 guys that can really play the position and really lead the offense well. Yeah, it's a tough call to make because you don't want to make the wrong call, and in my opinion, there really is no wrong call with these two guys. We've seen them both really been able to move the offense well and keep things kind of on the same page.
Kicking off from left to right is Graham Fisher to restart the ball game. Cody Berger and Dylan Peterson back deep for Luther. Luther will go to the end zone to our left, in which they put 30 points on the board in that first quarter. 44-0 the lead here at halftime. Wisconsin-Stevens Point has taken a 10-0 lead on Co. And Illinois Wesleyan leading Simpson 31-0 at the halftime break. Here's the approach by Fisher. Coming down to Peterson, a yard deep. He's going to take it out. Center of the field, 5. Near side hash to the 10 to the 15. And Peterson slides to a stop in the vicinity of the 22-yard line. Tackled by DJ Coleman. First down and 10 from the 33-yard line. Berger a little slow in getting up. As the Norse will move from right to left, we'll see what happens on the quarterback end of things here in quarter number 3. And I think it's going to be Dylan Smallwood. Good for Dylan.
Yeah, good for Dylan is right. I'm happy to see that. He's the type of guy that's been working hard in the program for a long time, stuck with it, and he gets his opportunities.
Dylan Smallwood is the quarterback. 2 slot backs and a fullback. Here is Smallwood keeping it off the right side across the 25 to the 30-yard line. A gain of 8 yards. A gain of 8. Second down upcoming. Smallwood, the number 3 quarterback, got 8 on the first carry. One of those guys that was recruited as the pocket passer, and when systems change, he's stuck with the program. And you know what? He's been you credit him for doing so. As Joyner will be split to the right side, and Cochran off to the left. Give to Christian Moore, left side across the 35. He's to the 40. Brought down between the numbers and the hash mark on the near side at the 45-yard line. So Christian Moore gets first down as he was brought down by Morissette, as Moore gets 15 on the play. And for the 4th consecutive game, Christian Moore has 100-plus yards rushing.
Yeah, and it's hard not to see where he gets those yards from, because he's rumbling and bumbling up the field, and I mean, when he moves, it's just about impossible to tackle him by yourself.
Leckel to the right side, Cochran to the left. Dylan Smallwood is the quarterback. Moore is the fullback. Nelson and Redmond are the slot backs. Here is a pitch from Smallwood to Nelson, and Nelson couldn't handle the pitch, and it's going to be recovered by Grinnell, and Ed Hardman on the fumble recovery at the 48-yard line at Luther territory. So another fumble, and Luther now -2 on the give-take ratio here today.
And now that's the type of play where if you're Dylan, you should probably just fall forward for those positive yards there. But trying to make the extra play, it would have been great. There was some room for the pitch man there, but just not necessarily on the same page in that sense.
First down and 10, 49-yard line, Luther territory. Grinnell trailing 44-0 with 13:37 to play. 2 receivers left side, 2 receivers right side. And the shotgun formation is Pullis, and off to his right is Dunn. Jones in motion right to left as Pullis takes the snap, rushes on. He'll roll to his right side, being chased by Wheelock. He'll throw to the near side, and the catch is made, but out of bounds was Henry Cummings beneath the coverage of Cody Berger in the left flat at the 43-yard line in Luther territory. A gain of 6 yards, or an incomplete pass, I should say. Second down and 10 upcoming. Second and 10 from the 49-yard line. 13:28 to play in the third quarter of the game. It is 44-0. Grinnell trailing Luther. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Pullis and Dunn in a pistol set. Jones goes in motion. He'll get the handoff on a wingback sweep, and he gets dumped by Dan Wheelock back at the 44-yard line. It was Eric Henderson, who got the call on the wingback sweep, moving left to right, and it's a loss of 7. The senior co-captain, Dan Wheelock, rising to the occasion.
Yeah, and it looked like the right tackle was trying to kind of trick Wheelock into going to the inside and bite on that stunt, and Wheelock does a nice job just hanging on the outside of that block and forcing that jet sweep to go all the way out to the outside, and that time Wheelock hops off his block and makes a great play in the backfield for a tackle for loss.
12:54 to play. It's 44-0 Luther in the third quarter. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Football on the right or near side hash mark. Poulos and Dunn in the shotgun. Here is Poulos under pressure, hit by Wheelock from behind. Got away from his tackle, but it's covered up by Trzynski at the 45-yard line between the numbers and the hash mark on the near side. No gain, 4th down upcoming. So the defense rising to the occasion after the takeaway by Grinnell. Fisher, who punted 8 times in that first half, will punt for time number 9.
Got to be impressed with the defense on third downs. They're sticking to their assignments, and
they're 0 for 10 on third down is Grinnell. Bryce Pierce is back deep for Luther. Here is Fisher moving forward, getting the kick away. It comes down to Bryce at the 14-yard line, turns up the hash mark to the 20. Tries to get by a defender, but cannot at the 23-yard line. Brought down on the play by Jeff Keel. So it's 1st down and 10 from the 22-yard line. 41-yard punt and a 7-yard return. 11:45 to play in the third quarter. It is 44-0 Luther, and Smallwood in the offense back on to the field. Sean Truin is now at center with Brunner and Prudhomme on the left side of the line, and it looks like the right side of the line is a couple of new players as well. There's the give to the fullback across the 35 to the 37-yard line, and that was Tristan Oliphant, number 39 in the game. Gain of 17, second and a 1st down upcoming. 1st and 10, 39-yard line. Cochran to the right side. Smallwood will duck in under his center, Sean Truin. Oliphant will be the fullback. He'll get the call once again behind the blocking of Brunner on the left side. He'll cross the 40, brought down near the near side hash mark at the 43-yard line by Ben Lim. But it is a gain on the play of about 5 yards for Tristan Oliphant, the sophomore fullback out of Midlothian, Texas. 2nd and 5 from the 44. We're 4 minutes into the second half. It's 44-0 Luther. On the offensive line, Moon is still on the right side at right guard, and Osley is still at right tackle right now. 2nd and 5 from the 44. Smallwood gives to Oliphant, and Oliphant cut down right at the line of scrimmage as he tried the right side. Ed Hardman, the man that brought him down.
I can imagine those two guys, Moon and Osley, not wanting to come out of the game, and
exactly.
Coaches saying, "Oh, you guys ready to come out?" And they say, "Nope, we're going to stick it out."
3rd and 5 from the 44-yard line. Joyner tight end right, Rhea tight end left. Smallwood under center, Sean Truin. Oliphant is the fullback. 2 slot backs as well, Peterson and Houlihan. Give to Oliphant right side. Or no, Smallwood kept it that time behind the blocking of Oliphant. Tried right guard and moves ahead to the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 5 and a 1st down. At the bottom of the pile is Matt Madrano for Grinnell. So 1st down and 10 from the 49-yard line for Luther, up 44-0 with 9:45 to play here in the third quarter. 1st and 10, 49-yard line. Cochran split to the left side. Joyner split to the right side. Peterson slot back left. Houlihan slot back right. Oliphant will be the fullback. Dylan Smallwood takes the snap. He'll give to Oliphant right side, plowing off the right side, up the hash mark, inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Jeff Keel brought him down, and Oliphant gets a gain of 13 yards.
Yeah, Oliphant showing some speed and some power right there. Keeps those legs churning while he's gotten 3 or 4 defenders hanging on his shirt.
First down and 10, 38-yard line. Into the first quarter, Stevens Point leading Co by a 10-0 margin. Oliphant is the fullback. Peterson and Houlihan the slot backs. Cochran left and Montgomery to the right. Smallwood gives to Oliphant, who bobbled a handoff a bit and tripped up near the line of scrimmage, covered up at the 36-yard line. Matt Madrano brought him down. Oliphant has had 6 straight carries, and it's second down and 8 from the 36-yard line. Again, that offensive line right now, Kyle Prudhomme, the left tackle, Jacob Brunner, the left guard, Sean Truan, the sophomore from Decorah, the center. Moon and Osley are on the right side of the line. Second and 8 from the 36. Gives to Oliphant right side, up the hash mark. Hit by Jeff Keel and dragged down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 5 for Tristan Oliphant, who had 1 carry for 4 yards coming into this game. 3rd and 3 upcoming. 44-0 Luther. Christian Moore with 3 touchdowns. Redmond and Letney and Peterson with the other touchdowns for Luther. They also have a safety on the day. 3rd down, 2.5 to go from the 31-yard line, right hash. Smallwood gives to Oliphant again, and he'll plow forward and get to the 28-yard line. It'll be a first down, brought down on the play by Ryan Slager. So first down for Luther once again. This is a nice drive with a lot of number 2s in the game right now.
Yeah, you gotta love the sustained drive. It's first off, it's taking some time off the clock. It's getting yourself a little bit more comfortable, and you're showing that the guys that you have with your depth, they're able to come in on the field and prove that they can make some plays happen.
First down and 10, 27-yard line. Smallwood under center takes the snap, gives to Oliphant off right guard once again. Between the numbers and the hash mark, gets brought down at the 23-yard line. A nice little gain of 4 for Oliphant. Second down and 6 upcoming. Over 400 yards of total offense on the day now for Luther. And we should mention that since this is a road game, Luther only able to travel 55 today as compared to bringing more on the roster. So this is probably as deep as you can go with the guys who are allowed to travel in the Iowa Conference. Second down and 5 from the 23-yard line. Smallwood keeps it left side, slanting left to the 20 and gets dragged down by DJ Coleman with help from Ryan Slager at the 19. They're going to mark him at the 20, so Smallwood gets 3. 3rd down and 3 upcoming. Norse have been 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, and they are 2 for 4 on the day.
Just inside the red zone.
Norse controlling the clock for 5 minutes. That's over half the amount of time that they had in the first half. They only had it 9:58 in that first half.
Yeah, they were quick scoring and quick striking and didn't ever have to travel really more than the 80-yard touchdown by Peterson.
3rd and 4 from the 22. Smallwood keeps it off the right side, lunging ahead and gets to the 16-yard line on a first down. Moon and Osley providing the interference that time. Morris set at the bottom of the pile. It's a gain of 6 yards for Dylan Smallwood, the senior quarterback out of Colorado.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Luther perfect in the red zone so far today?
4 for 4.
Okay. Important.
That's with touchdowns.
Yep, that's all touchdowns. Yep, no field goals yet in the red zone, and it would be great to see the second team here, most second team guys, be able to punch one in here through the red zone and keep that stat perfect.
Cochran to the left and Montgomery to the right. Smallwood takes the snap. He flies the right side. He's going for Montgomery. It's knocked away, incomplete. Smallwood throws his first pass of the season. Montgomery, a big guy, big target, 6'3", 200. They went with the pop fly to him, but the ball was a touch underthrown. Second down and 10 from the 16. 5:06 to play in the third, 44-0 Luther. Nice new wrinkle, and with a kid like Montgomery, you might as well take advantage of the asset you got there.
Yeah, that's a big boy out there, 6'3", 210, and throw it up to him and see if he can go up there with those long arms and hop up there and grab it.
Second and 10 from the 16-yard line. Here is the give to Oliphant right side. He'll get to the 10-yard line. He's got knocked down on the play, and his helmet came off, so he'll have to go off for a play. Ryan Slager, the man that brought him down after a gain of 5 yards. Third down and 5 upcoming, and Andrew Whalen into the lineup for Luther. Whalen, 5'7", 200, and a sophomore out of South St. Paul, Minneapolis.
SID kid.
Exactly. Always loyal to our own. Bryce Pierce getting his first start today at safety as well for the injured Gabe Samich. 3rd and 5 from the 11-yard line, 4.5 to play here in the third quarter. Smallwood takes the snap. Give is to Whalen, and he carries a couple of tacklers up the middle inside the 5 down to near the 4. It'll be a first down and a gain of 6 yards. Andrew Whalen showing the tough yards between the guards.
Yeah, we saw him do that last week too when Christian Moore needed a little bit of a breather. They kind of brought him in, and he was just kind of a little bit shorter version of Christian Moore, and he's taking on hits and getting positive yards after the fact.
First and goal inside the 5-yard line. 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. It's 44-0 Luther. Rhea, the tight end, left side of the line. Slot back left, Dylan Peterson. Slot back right is Houlihan. And Oliphant will be the fullback. He'll get the call off the left side. Lost his footing a bit and gets dumped at the 5-yard line by Ben Lim. It is a gain of 0, second down upcoming. And again, it's mainly number 2s. Cochran and Rhea have been rotating a bit. Joyner and Rhea are the tight ends, and I'm guessing they're the only 2 tight ends on the trip today. Osley and Moon still on the right side of the line of scrimmage. You got number 2s in on center to left tackle right now. And everybody else is number 2s, including Smallwood, your third-string quarterback. Second down and 8 upcoming from the 5-yard line. Smallwood keeps it off the right side, lowering the shoulder to the end zone for the touchdown. Smallwood behind Moon and Osley for the score. It's 50-0 Luther with 3:09 to play in quarter number 3.
And how do you like that? After Dylan Smallwood punches one in for the touchdown, he's going to go back there and now hold the kick or hold the point after attempt. Now this time for Knutson. But gotta love Dylan Smallwood getting his opportunity and putting one in the end zone for himself.
78 yards and 16 plays. Snap, spot, kick, and Knutson's PAT is up and no good. So Alex Knutson misses on the PAT attempt. It's 50-0 Luther. 78 yards, 16 plays, 8:36 off the clock. That is a Aaron Hafner type drive. He's smiling.
Yep.
I've seen him smile a few times.
Only a couple times in my life.
He probably is grinning a little bit.
Yeah, I think he might be grinning a little bit on the other sideline.
But I do have to send a shout out. Our SID Dave Blanchard, he is painting up in Bloomington. His daughter Emma and soon-to-be son-in-law Micah also helping out today. They're getting married 2 weeks from today, so their anniversary will be Hunter's birthday. Coincidence?
I think not. They picked a great day.
And Blanche is tuning in, and maybe the paint fumes are getting to him because he says we're sounding good. And he'll be updating the website later on tonight with all the stories and information, sports.luther.edu. And our next broadcast, we'll have volleyball this week as well as soccer this week. 3:09 remaining in the third quarter, 50-0 the score as Knutson will kick. It comes down to Sandoval at the 10. Up the far side, hash to the 15, runs to the center of the field to the 20 to the 25, and John Cochran says no further at the 36-yard line. First down and 10, 36-yard line. Left to right goes Grinnell. It's 50-0 Luther with 3:01 to play in the third quarter. We'll see some new numbers, I'd imagine, in the secondary now, as Quinn Barrett will be in the secondary, as well as Jeremy Greer, as well as, I believe, Dante Joseph is on the far side. The deep safeties right now are Sam Fierce, as well as Eric Tiller, I do believe. We'll double check that here in a second. 1st and 10, 36-yard line. Pullis takes the snap, rolling out to his left side. Pullis under pressure, being chased by Van Kirk, and he's going to throw that into the first row of the stands on the left side. Good pass rush by Jackson Van Kirk. 2nd down and 10 from the 36-yard line. It is Eric Tiller in there. At linebacker right now, you have Jackson Van Kirk as well as Eddie Joseph. Up front, you have Daniel Chavez up front for Luther. Also on the defensive line, Raven Kennedy. Also Ben Trzynski is still up there, and Ethan Murphy up on the defensive line right now. 2nd and 10 from the 36, 50-0 with 2:54 to play in the third quarter. Give off the right side to Dunn. He'll turn between the numbers and a hash mark. Brought down at the 45-yard line, a gain of 9 yards on the play. You mentioned red zone statistic. Norse are 5 of 5 in the red zone to date on the season. They've been to the red zone 12 times. They've scored 12 touchdowns.
And that's going to be a really important stat in the conference play, especially when you're in the red zone. You got to capitalize, because that's how you're going to get leads. That's how you're going to cut into leads, and just makes you feel good when you put 6 on the board.
So 3rd and 1 from the 45. Driving to throw is Pullis. Throws the left side. Catch made by Dunn. Turns up the sideline and knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line. It'll be a 1st down, knocked to the sideline by Eric Tiller. It is a gain of 3 yards.
Kind of hit him right along the sidelines, very close to being out of bounds. I think it was okay hit.
First down.
I think that red zone statistic is something that's vastly improved, and thanks to Wi-Fi and a smartphone, we'll look that up here momentarily. 1st down and 10, 47-yard line for Grinnell, trailing 50-0 inside of 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. Defense is remaining the same right now, the same 11 on the field as started this series. 1st down and 10, 47-yard line. Pullis runs off right guard on a QB keeper, brought down by Jackson Van Kirk, right near side hash mark at the 49. It is a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 6 from the 49-yard line. Again, in a game like this, you're allowed to travel 55, so I'd imagine all 55 will get an opportunity today. 2nd and 6 from the 49-yard line, 15-0 Luther, 1 minute to play here in the third. Dropping a throw is Pullis. Pullis runs up the middle and gets dragged out from behind. On the sack that time is Michael Knoll. And it's 3rd down upcoming.
Yeah, and that's how you play against that quarterback draw. If you're getting blocked by your guy up front, kind of keep one arm out there and try to make that little one-arm tackle, and that's what he's able to do there and drag down Pullis to the ground. And this is a great opportunity for the coaches to see what they have in their depth. It's not just that these guys are getting a chance to play. These guys are trying to fight for a spot next year and the year after. They're trying to prove what they can do out on the football field, and this is a perfect place to do it.
And if necessary, this season.
This year, exactly.
3rd and 7 from the 50-yard line. Taking the snap is Pullis, rolling off to his left side, being chased by Knoll. Flag is down. They throw up the left side. The catch is made by Rusich. And out of bounds he goes beneath the coverage of Sam Fierce at the 38-yard line. It's going to be a hold on Grinnell. So in the North secondary, you have a Fierce and a Pierce. Sam seeing some time in the secondary today.
Number 17, probably 10 yards from the previous spot. 3rd down.
Guilty party on the hold was Carson Dunn. So 1st down, let's see, 3rd and 17, back to the 40-yard line. Grinnell is 1 of 11 on 3rd down conversions today. Luther has given up 10 of 39 on 3rd down conversions this year. That's a stat that makes any defensive coordinator smile.
Yeah, it's got to make Coach Padilla just jump up and down. I mean, especially today, the defense has been so good on third down.
So the end of the third quarter now upon us. It's 3rd and 17 from the 40 as we start the fourth quarter of play. It's 50-0 Luther. Only one score in that quarter. A Dylan Smallwood touchdown run. 3 scores from Christian Moore. He's over 100 yards for the 4th consecutive game, going back to the Simpson finale last year. Also scores from Redmond, scores from Peterson, and scores from Letney. Last year, Luther 19 of 24 within the red zone in scoring touchdowns. This year, 12 of 12. So 3 games into the season, you have half as many red zone appearances as you did all of last year. And granted, last year, oftentimes it was big plays at certain times as well, so that can be a little bit of a misleading statistics. But once you get there, you want points, and that's exactly what they have been doing, and that's the overall point.
Right, and that's the most important part of that stat is they're not getting field goals, they're not settling for anything, they're converting on those opportunities that they have in the red zone. And the red zone is normally the easiest place to score the ball. I'm not going to say it always is, but
it should be
the easiest place for you to score the ball. You're the closest to the goal line.
And it should be the green zone, the go zone, right? 3rd and 17 from that 40-yard line. Pullis takes the snap, pumping once. He's under pressure. He scrambles up the middle. He runs up the hash mark and gets dragged down on the left near side. Hash mark by Eddie Joseph and Mark Knoll at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 6 yards, so another 3rd down stop for the Luther defense. Grinnell 1 for 12 on 3rd downs today. Luther, by comparison, 4 of 6. Luther 415 yards on the ground, 449 yards of total offense. Grinnell, with that 6 yards run, up to -3 yards of total or rushing offense and 49 yards of total offense. 4th and 11 from the 46-yard line. Snap back to Fisher in good shape. Fisher will move forward and get the kick away. It will angle from the far sideline. Pierce called for the fair catch, but he lets it bounce at the 20 and rolls out of bounds near the 14-yard line, or they're going to mark it at the 13-yard line. 43-yard punt, no return. Luther will get it back, 14:01 to play, and it's 50-0 Luther. Christian Moore, 114 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brady Letney, 2 of 2, 34 yards passing. Norse threw 3 passes more today than they did against Grinnell last year, in which they had 579 yards of rushing offense. New players in the game now for Luther, as Smallwood will be under his center, Sean Truman. 1st down at 10, 13-yard line. Smallwood keeps it left side, flag down near the line of scrimmage. Smallwood brought down at the 29-yard line. Smallwood got 16, but I don't believe it's going to count. It will not. And the penalty will be against Luther. It will be a hold. Grant Hiller, a freshman, in for Luther on the offensive line. He's going to be on the right side of the line. It appears that Adam Kavansky is on the right side of the line as well. Some new numbers coming in. Andy Johnson is in at right guard, a freshman from Hudson, Wisconsin. It's Andy Johnson at the right guard. The right tackle right now is Adam Kavansky. Smallwood is under center. 1st down, 16. Smallwood keeps it left side. He runs to the 10. He gets dragged down across the 10 to the 14-yard line. Smallwood able to get 5 yards on that play. 2nd and 11 upcoming with 14 minutes, with 13:30 to play, I should say.
This is the type of drive where Coach Hafner's thinking, let's have this ball for as long as possible. Let's take the air out of the game, and let's try and get this under 6 minutes and maybe put some points on the board, or in the best way, let's get another touchdown here and really seal this one up.
2nd and 11 from the 14-yard line. Smallwood takes the snap, keeps it on the right side, makes a late pitch to a new player in the game. He's to the 25 to the 30, and they're going to mark him out at the 28-yard line. That is Devin Martinez, a freshman running back, knocked out of bounds after a gain of 17 and a first down. So another freshman seeing some time today. You mentioned these guys seeing some time in a Saturday afternoon game. The Norse will play their first junior varsity game coming up on Monday afternoon at 5 o'clock, taking on Wisconsin lacrosse at Carlson Stadium. Joseph Reese is in at running back, as well as Andrew Whalen. Whalen gets a call off the left side, slips the defender across the 30, covered up to the 32-yard line. Reese able to get 4 on the play. Martinez got 14 on the previous play. Second down and 6 at the 32-yard line.
And the clock continues to
I'll
move.
carry on that one.
25 last carry.
Second and 6 from the 32-yard line. Reese and Martinez are your slot backs, and Whalen is your fullback. Here's Smallwood on the option right side. Keeps it 35. He's to the 40, the 45, and brought down at the 50-yard line. Dylan Smallwood.
Shifty.
Great adjective. Hunter Jurgen, a gain of 18 and a first down. Ed Hardman brought him down.
He just absolutely fake pitched and got about 6 more yards after that fake pitch. What a nice little play from the third string quarterback. Sure not looking like it right now.
11:40 to play, 50-0 Luther. And it looks like the Norse have a new center in the game as well. The new center will be Grant Heller. Heller's at center right now. Right guard Andy Johnson. Adam Kavansky is at right tackle. At left guard right now, Jordan Volkoff is in at left guard, and Kyle Prudrome is in at left tackle. That is the offensive line right now.
First down and 10 for Luther at midfield.
First and 10, 50-yard line, 50-0 Luther. Give is to Whalen. No, Smallwood keeps it up the left side of the 40. He's to the 30, outside the hash mark to the 25, and dragged down right there.
Smallwood, the ball carrier.
Ken Hoover, the man that brought him down. Smallwood gets 25 to a first and 10. And we've brought up this point about the quarterback battle, if you will. Let's look at the last couple of years. You've had to use 2 and 3 quarterbacks, and it's,
5-yard line.
you know what? It's good to get a comfort level with multiple guys, because in this offense, your quarterback's going to take some hits.
Yeah, you're going to take some hits in the option offense, especially if you're making the right reads. You do end up taking some pretty big hits. It's that's kind of the motto of the offense, and having a couple of quarterbacks that you can rely on to come in and still make plays is crucial.
First down and 10 from the 25. Smallwood faked the handoff to Whalen, and the hole got plugged up as Smallwood got knocked down at the 28-yard line, but there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage coming from the line judge. We'll see what that's all about. And I don't think the Norse might have had enough men on the line of scrimmage.
Piece of a shirt.
Illegal formation.
They didn't.
The offense was not on the line of scrimmage. To repeat, first down. 5-yard penalty.
And there's actually
And they get a penalty called on the opposition. It's a bad break.
it looks like Peter Wilson
Down in maybe 11 or 12.
was in as a wide receiver that time, and now Nathan Bleckel is back in at a wide receiver.
Luther. So it says first down and 15.
Also in at a wide receiver right now is Joseph Valbuena,
Allowed to decline.
freshman from El Centro, California. 15-0 Luther, 10 minutes to play. Smallwood gives to Whalen left side, 20. He's to the 15, cutting back inside the 15, covered up at the 12-yard line. Whalen with a gain of 13 and a first down.
Yeah, and Whalen really was hoping he'd keep his balance there and find the end zone, but a great run there. And, you know, he really does show pretty similar signs of Christian Moore. He runs hard, he runs fast, but when he gets tackled, it's not going down without a fight.
You've seen Pruitt run well at the fullback position. Whalen ran well. Oliphant is running well, and Christian Moore, his 4th straight 100-yard game. First down and 10 from the 12-yard line. Smallwood under his center. takes the snap, keeps it on the option left side. He runs to the 10 and got collared down on the far side, numbers near the 8. It appeared Hardman was in on the play. A gain of 5 for Smallwood. 9:30 left. Luther leading by a count of 50-0. 3 touchdown runs for Christian Moore, Peterson, Letney, Redmond, and Smallwood have also been in the end zone via runs today. 2nd and 5 from the 7-yard line. Smallwood takes the snap. He'll give to Whalen. He'll cut up the middle and runs into a wall. Gets knocked back at the 7-yard line. 3rd and 5 upcoming for Luther. 0-yard gain. So Justin Montgomery coming into the lineup with the play from the far side. This is College Radio AM 1240 KWLC Decorah. KWLC.luther.edu and KWLC on your TuneIn radio app. Haven't given love to Filani in a while. Got to thank him. He's been doing the hard work. We're just having fun watching football and talking about it. 3rd and 5 from the 7. Smallwood on a keeper left side, and he'll lunge forward inside the 5 as he turned up the hash mark and got down to the 2. It'll be a first down on a gain of 5 yards.
Smallwood slides ahead for a first down.
1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Another nice drive here for Luther. This will be the 11th play of the drive that started at their own 13-yard line, and you are doing it all with 2 and 3s here.
Yeah, and you got to love it. Coach Hafner's getting maximum effort out of these guys, and it's the intensity part about it. These guys, I think, are going to go out there and play with heart the entire time.
1st and goal from the 2, and Smallwood takes and was going to follow Whalen into the line, but somebody moved early for the Norse.
Ball start, number 69 the offense.
Early start for Adam Kavashny, I should say. 1st and goal back to the 7-yard line. 50-0 Luther, 7:51 to play. Luther with 512 yards of rushing offense now and 566 of total offense. And 56 on the board as well. Bowman to the left side. Fleckel off to the right. Martinez and Reese, the slot backs. Whalen is the fullback. And Smallwood fumbles the snap, and Morissette comes back on top of it for Grinnell. That's the first time this season the Norse have not scored while in the red zone, but all in all, not too bad. 12 for your first 12, so -3 on the turnover ratio is probably not going to be too happy today. It's another thing to work on, but at the same time, you know what? Those things happen.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing, I don't think you can ever stop working on ball protection in this type of offense. That's the kind of thing that's got to be preached from day one until the last day of the season. You can't emphasize that enough if you're the coaches. So, yes, you get fumbles, but in not serious situations.
7:23 left. Here is the give off the left side to a new player in the game, and that is,
Rich is the ball carrier.
I believe, Blake Risch. Risch got the handoff, and he moves from the 5 or the 9 out to about the 15. It's a gain of 6 yards. 2nd down upcoming. 50-0 Luther. 7 minutes to play in this ball game. We'll check the Norse lineup defensively right now.
2nd down and 4 for Grinnell from their own 15-yard line.
Receivers left and right.
Shouting out directions.
Motion from left to right is Pullis. We'll keep it on a quarterback draw. Noel hits him first. Van Kirk finishes him off at the 16-yard line. And 3rd down upcoming. Gain of 2.
I thought Dylan Smallwood was in the game at linebacker, but we've got duplicate 8s, so that's Colton Jansen.
Well,
I was taken for a second.
Let's see. Jansen's 6 foot and 200, and Smallwood is 5'10 and 205. So very similar.
It's hard to
body
tell them
types.
apart. Yeah.
We're at 6:40
3rd down and 2 from about the 17-yard line. 15-0 Luther, 6:08 to play. Pullis takes the snap, throws to the left side. Catch made by Sandoval, knocked back by Joseph at the 23-yard line. It'll be a 1st down for Grinnell.
Dante Joseph has been active today. The time that he's gotten on the field, I think he came up with 2 sacks or a sack and a half at least, and that time comes up and makes a nice tackle on the little comebacker for a minimal gain.
22-yard line.
1st and 10, 22-yard line. Up front right now for the Norse, it's Daniel Chavez. Also, Raven Kennedy is at a defensive end. At a defensive tackle is Ethan Murphy, and Mark Knoll is at a tackle as well. 1st and 10, 22-yard line. Chavez running down Rish as he tried the left side as he gets cut down at the 24-yard line, a gain of 2 yards. Sam Fierce is in the secondary. Dante Joseph as well. Ryan Steffel and Quinn Barrett as well as Jeremy Greer. And your linebackers right now, it is Colton Jansen and Jackson Van Kirk. 2nd down and 8 from the 24-yard line with 5:10 left. 50-0 Luther. High snap to Pullos. He'll give to Rish as he tried the left side, and he gets tripped up right near the line of scrimmage. Raven Kennedy is the primary defender on that play. Again, a lot of players getting in the game, really their first quote-unquote varsity, if you will, experience, and a lot of these guys will be playing Monday afternoon in a JV game that starts at 5 o'clock at Carlson Stadium against Wisconsin Lacrosse. It's nice to... A few years there, Luther didn't have the numbers to play a JV schedule, and it's nice to get that roster right around 100, which makes playing those JV games worth it.
Yep, gives you depth and options, Darren.
4:19 to play, 50-0 Luther. Pullis takes the snap. He got away from Chavez, but does not get away from another man. He loses the football. Chavez has it at the 15, to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone for the score.
There's the turnover, Darren. That's the one we're looking for.
Daniel Chavez, the junior linebacker from St. Charles, Minnesota,
24-yard line.
picked up the fumble at the 15 and took it in for the score. It's 56-0 Luther.
So Sam just going for extra effort, and he just could not get away.
I couldn't tell who had Polos around the ankles, and they deserve the credit as well as Chavez on that play, but there's that scoop and score, and you can tell that the north sideline was pretty excited about that. As Knutson for the PAT, it is spotted Budin and it is blocked. As AK just having a struggle with the PATs this year. So 56-0 Luther. It's 4:06 remaining in the game, and the defense gets that first turnover of the season and the score.
Yeah, and you got to.
And the point I was going to make, you could tell that sideline was waiting for that.
Oh yeah, that's a team defense touchdown right there. That's not a touchdown for Chavez. That's an awesome sight to see. Everybody congratulating him, and you gotta love the energy that the guys are still having with the score already decided.
56 points for the Norse today. I'm trying to look back. The last time Luther put over 50 on the board, it's been, I think, quite some time. That there's been 50 against Luther, unfortunately.
That's not what you're looking for.
That's not what we're looking for. I'm back to 2011. We haven't found it yet there. Not in 2010. Surfing the internet on the radio. It's not exactly exhilarating radio as Alex Knutson kicks to the goal line. Sandoval takes it near side numbers at the 5, runs to the center of the field to the 20, hit by Eddie Joseph and carried back. He forces a fumble, and Luther has it. Joseph applied the hit, and Colton Jansen, I believe, came up with the fumble recovery. He did. Back at the 22-yard line, so 2 takeaways from the defense right there. The last time Luther scored over 50 points was October 20th of 2007 in a 58-7 win over Waldorf. It was a lovely day at Carlson Stadium that day.
You recall?
Yes, very. And I think it was a great color commentating by Jerry Yeager, great sideline reporting from Mike Owens, and the play-by-play was as mediocre as it always has been. Sean Truant snaps it to Dylan Smallwood, who keeps it up the left side. He's inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. So the give-take ratio down to -1. Eddie Joseph just with a heck of a play on that knockaway to take the ball away from the Grinnell defender. So second down upcoming. Sean Truant back in at center. On the left side of the line, Brunner and Prudhomme. On the right side of the line is Andy Johnson and Kavashny, I believe. Second down and 6. Smallwood hands off to Oliphant. He lost control of the football, and Grinnell will have it at the 13-yard line. So 4 turnovers on Luther now with 3:11 to play in the game. Well, there's been some sloppiness in this game, as you would expect. The Norse controlled things, scored on their first 5 possessions, and mercifully there's 3:11 left in this game. Let's see, Leo Ramirez is in at a defensive back right now. Tyler Berzawa in for the Norse as well. We're trying to get as many players in as possible. Pullis takes the snap, rolls to his right side, dump right side, catch made by Carson Dunn, knocked back by Jeremy Greer on a nice hit. Gain of 0, second down and 10 upcoming. Jackson Van Kirk back in at a linebacker. Dante Joseph is in the secondary. Colton Jansen on a fumble recovery. Chavez up front with Noel Murphy, as well as Raven Kennedy. Fierce is in the secondary. Sam Fierce. Second down upcoming. Taking the snap is Pullis. He's under pressure. He's hit by Chavez. He got away from him. He doesn't get away from Noel, who sacks him back at the 10. It's a third down upcoming. It'll be third down and 18 with 2:20 to play. North still playing hard despite the margin.
Yeah, and you gotta love it. I mean, Coach talked about the intensity, and it's been here all day. It's been here from the first snap, and things have gone Luther's way, but they have not tried to go run and hide away with this lead. They have been aggressive, and they've been fun to watch today.
So third down and 18 from the 11-yard line with 108 seconds to play. Pullis takes the snap. He drops back to throw. He scrambles to his left side. He fires to the near side. And the catch made by Sandoval, but they rule him out of the bounds at the 30-yard line. Nice coverage provided by Berzawa on the near side. It's fourth down.
It would have been a first down at about the 30.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pioneers are on the road next week, so they're not home for 2 weeks. So things don't get messy around here. If you wouldn't mind picking up your trash before you head home.
So punt formation time for Fish. Bryce Pierce back in single safety.
If you wouldn't mind, pick things up.
Sympathy going out to Bryce's family. He lost his grandpa earlier this week. Probably one of Bryce's biggest fans.
Same time, 12:30 Pioneer pregame show.
Snap back. In good shape. Fisher moves forward, gets the kick away. Bryce calls for the fair catch, stays away from it, and will die at the 41-yard line. 31-yard punt, no return. And I can't imagine Luther's going to get too creative here. 124 left, 56-0 Luther.
56-0. And Luther can pretty much just sit on this.
Smallwood has played quarterback the entire second half. Letney and Stroop split time in the first half. So it looks like it's going to be victory formation time for the Norse. Peter Wilson is in at the tight end position. I think we've gotten everybody's name on that has gotten in at least to the best of our ability. Smallwood takes a knee. Second down upcoming. They'll have to do it one more time.
Yeah, not many names on this list that traveled with the team today that I don't think I've heard you say. So most guys got in their opportunity, and most of them made the most of it. Got to credit with everybody on the team today. They really played hard, and that's what coaches were really looking for today. And no matter the score at the point, people were still going out there and fighting hard.
And I think one more time, I think at least one more, maybe two more times, as Smallwood will go down to a knee. And they're going to have to do it one more time. Before this one's academic. 2007 was the last time Luther scored over 50 points. Dylan Smallwood takes an E, and that's going to be that. Luther improving to 2-1 on the season with a 56-0 win over Grinnell. That win was in week number 6 of 2007, so that is a string of...
Let Darren do his math.
This has to be compelling radio.
I'll let you do the math. That's my least favorite subject.
That was 77 games ago that Luther last scored over 50 points in a game. I guess we're probably I'll put you to work looking for the last shutout for the Luther College North defensively, as Luther wins it by a 56-0 margin. We'll wait for some stats, and they'll be pretty impressive on the day. Might not be as great in the second half, but the bottom line is Luther with a pretty solid performance, a great start to the game, and really they never looked back, Hunter.
Yeah, they just... things seem to go their way. I would describe it as that in the first couple of quarters, and they never really looked back from that point. They were taking advantage of mistakes being made and capitalizing on them, and that's what you got to do to win football games. And today you capitalized on almost every mistake and really, really proved yourself today. And I just found the last shutout goes back to November 8th of 2008 in a riveting 7-0 win against Cornell College, a defensive struggle to say the least.
Yeah.
At Carlson Stadium, which I'm sure you were there and enjoying the call, and you just got to give credit to the defense. They played hard, and when you get up that by that many points, it's easy to kind of let things go and not try to tackle as hard. But not once did we see that today. We saw guys really putting their heart out there today.
And Luther, that was week 9 of 2008 was their last shutout. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a span of 64 games since the last shutout for Luther College football as well. So a lot of those not so fun streaks are starting to end. And 2-1, and yes. You're facing a squad that has 33 kids on the roster, and yes, you're going to have bigger challenges, and I think even the folks in this press box would agree with you on that today. But the focus had to be on how you played, and especially with that first unit, the tackling so much better today. You got a couple of turnovers, you got a defensive score, you got a special team score off a touchdown, and over 500 yards of offense as well.
Just seemed like they were clicking on all cylinders today. It just seemed like guys were out there having a good time, but they're also playing hard, and they're leaving everything out on the field. And today it results in a win, but you gotta play with that type of intensity, no matter what the type of game you're gonna have, who you're facing, or what the score on the scoreboard is. You gotta play with the heart and the intensity that the coaches are looking for, because that's what's gonna end up making you win more and more ball games in the future.
Last shutout, November 8th of 2008. That was a span of 64 games. It's the first time in 77 games Luther has scored over 50 points. And we'll get the stats here momentarily. And there's not a lot else to say as Luther wins it by a count of 56-0. Winning the second ever meeting between these two teams. Last year it was a 49-21 win in Decorah, and it's going to be happy about a 3-hour bus trip back up north, and the guys will enjoy their week off. And normally this coaching staff takes 1 week to work on themselves and then will start focusing on the opponent the next week. Dubuque will play out at Pacific later on tonight, and a lot of good thus far, but again, a lot of room to grow, as I think everybody wearing blue and white today would realize.
Yeah, and if you're not improving, you're not getting better. That's the thing. Is yes, you're 2-1. You're in a great position right now. You haven't started conference play. You get to go to Dubuque in 2 weeks. You get the week off. You get a rest. You get to prepare for Dubuque, and you can't overthink, and you got to go out and play, and you got to execute what the game plan is. And Luther's done a pretty good job so far this year of doing that, and we'll see if they can have a good week, 2 weeks of practice, and come out on 2 weeks from today and have a great game against Dubuque.
Checking on some of the Iowa Conference scores, fourth quarter, Illinois Wesleyan leading Simpson 42-7. Central over Marantha Baptist 59-0 in the fourth quarter. Halftime, Stevens Point leading Co 24-7. Last check, it was Augustana leading Loris in the third quarter 21-7. Dubuque is at Pacific tonight, and Wartburg is at Wisconsin Stout tonight. Luther 20 first downs, Grinnell with 5. Luther 509 yards of total offense, Grinnell with -1. Luther 34 yards passing, Grinnell with 57. Luther 543 yards of total offense, Grinnell with 56. Luther held the ball for 19 minutes in the second half and had 28:52 of time of possession. Grinnell had 31:08. Grinnell 2 of 15 on third down conversions, and early on in the season the Norse defense has held teams to 11 of 43 in the first 3 games on third down conversions. Luther, on the other hand, was 5 of 8. So thus far, Luther is batting 500, 17 for 34 on third down conversions. Luther 5 of 7 in the red zone. Grinnell 0 for 0. Luther did lose 4 fumbles today, and Grinnell losing 2 fumbles. And we should put the asterisk that the first unit offense did not lose any today. It was one from the first unit special teams, and also 3 lost fumbles in the second half. Let's see. Christian Moore, 6 rushes, 114 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's his 4th straight 100-yard game. Dylan Smallwood, 13 carries, 92 yards on a score. Dylan Peterson, 2 carries, 78 yards on a score. Cooper Nelson, 2 carries, 61 yards. Brady Letney, 2 of 2, 34 yards. Cooper Nelson, 1 catch for 28 yards, and Christian Moore, 1 for 6. Carson Dunn, 5 carries, 13 yards. Blank Risch, 3 carries, 9 yards. Sam Pullis, 19 carries and 4 yards. Jacob Bernholtz, 4 rushes and 3 yards. Pullis, 9 of 20 passing, 57 yards. He was sacked 7 times by this Luther defense. Carson Dunn, 4 catches for 14 yards. Emmy Sandoval, 3 catches for 43 yards. Eddie Joseph led the tackle chart with 6. Dan Wheelock had 6. He had a sack and a half and 2 TFLs. Ryan Steffel and Josh Olerud with 5. DJ Coleman led the tackle chart for Grinnell with 10. So Christian Moore, 3 touchdowns. Also touchdowns for Redmond, Peterson, Letney, Smallwood, and Daniel Chavez with a defensive touchdown on a 22-yard fumble recovery and score as well. 56-0, and the Norse get the victory. Final thoughts, Hunter?
Yeah, just a great all-around game, and taking advantage of things that are going your way and making the other team pay is really what happened today. Luther able to take advantage of the Grinnell mistakes and punch him in the end zone, and also the triple option unable to be stopped today, and a couple of wrinkles with the passes, and a good all-around game. Still some things to improve on, ball security, and they ended up getting those turnovers that they were looking for towards the end of the game. But sure, the coaches are looking for some turnovers in more crucial moments of the game. So we'll see how they can come out of practice after these next 2 weeks. Bye week, get them some rest, get them healthy, and see you in Dubuque in 2 weeks.
All right, Hunter, nice job by you. We'll celebrate your birthday, hopefully, with a Norse victory that day. Hunter Juergen exiting the broadcast. Want to thank Falani back at our KWLC studios for getting us on the air and keeping us on the air. And we want to thank you, that's right, you the listener, for tuning in. It is a 56-0 lead for the Norse. We'll have football 2 weeks from today from Dubuque. Conference opener, Luther and Dubuque. It'll be a pregame of 12:50 and a kickoff of 1 o'clock in that ball game. Also, between now and then, on video streaming this week, it'll be Luther volleyball against Simpson this week, 7:30 start on Tuesday night. Paige Lobdell will have the call of that one at 7:30. And by the way, Paige and Moran have their first episode of ESPN L on. Check that one out as well. And then Wednesday night, we'll have soccer on the web as Luther takes on Wisconsin-Platteville, 5 o'clock for the women's game and 7:30 for the men's game. So for Falani back in the studio, for Hunter Juergen, I'm Darren Swenson saying so long from Grinnell. Norse win at 56-0. Thanks a bunch for tuning in to AM 1240 KWLC and logging on to sports.luther.edu.